got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away. I'll be okay. I ain't big on social graces. Think I slip on down to the oasis, 'cause I got friends in low places. So bring me two pina coladas. I need one for each hand. We'll set sail with Captain Morgan and never leave dry land. Suppose I forgot 'em, buried them in the sand. Bring me two pina coladas. She said goodbye to her good time and man. To the top, here we go. Well, I got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away. Now I'm gonna be okay. I ain't big on social graces. Think I slip on down to the oasis, 'cause I got friends in low places. On and now I've got friends in low places. Yes, thank y'all so much. I'm Garland. Give it up for Frankie right over here. Thank you guys for having me. And now I think it's time for more basketball shots. Yeah.
Let's go, Wolfpack!
All right, let's go Wolfpack. That's right. Thank y'all so much.
Wow. Garland Mason, absolutely amazing. Not only did he play for 1 hour, he played for 2. Are you kidding me? I mean, we have made a significant upgrade in our event. And this is just the start. Garland's so generous with his time. It's going to be up to me or any of you watching to help us find him a paying gig. Whew. Okay, so we ready to go?
Well, we were trying to charge it.
It's just going to connect. I think it's going to be all right here. All right, we're just connecting the Dr. Dish back. Connected. Okay, we're good. All right, let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it. One. Two. Two. How can I be long now? Oh, come on. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 25, 26. That's off. 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 49, 50, 51, 52. 53. 54. 55. 56. 57. 58. 59. 60. Oh, 61. 62. 62. 63. 64. 65. 66. 67. 68. Oh, 68. 69. 70. 71. 72. 73. 74. 75. 5. 75. 76. 77. Oh, that's off. 77. 77. 78. 78. 79. 80. 81. 81. 81. 2. 83. 84. 85. 86. 87. 88. 89. 90. 91. 92. 93. 94. 95. 96. 97. 98. 99. Okay. All right. Another 100 in the books. Okay. We're going to roll my buddy Jeff Riley at UCS Beaufort. Jeff Riley.
We've been to a lot of Peach Belt basketball games. There's not a single person in the Peach Belt Conference that's as good on the sweat mop as you.
Oh, wow.
And I mean that. We've been to a lot of games where they could have used Jeff Riley because there's nobody as good.
Hi, I'm Jeff Riley. I'm about to graduate from an awesome school called USCB, and this is the story of how I became part of the coolest college basketball team in the country and brought a bunch of my friends along for the ride. Welcome to Center Court. This is my buddy Jacob that I met on the Special Olympics basketball team. And he's from Massachusetts, where I'm originally from. Mascot Security Jacob.
Jeff, I think you were a significant component to our success this year. You bring in your positive energy, your smiling face every day. Guys love high-fiving you. Guys love seeing when you're around. They love you. You're a valuable part of our team. Your picture is in our locker room. The guys absolutely love that type of energy, so you were a significant component to what we were able to do this year.
You've been one of our favorite adds to our staff this year. You've been it's been so much fun having you and seeing you get new experiences. Everything from game day broadcast, getting on air with JJ. I was actually driving. It was one game that I couldn't be here. And I was driving back from Myrtle Beach, and I got to listen to you and JJ on the broadcast. And what an awesome day that was. Yeah, that was so much fun. But the ability to incorporate you, yourself, along with our Best Buddies program and Special Olympics has been really special for all of us. The fact that you guys practice here on Monday nights,
yeah.
that we can open up our facility for y'all is awesome. And, we all remember the halftime game day experience.
Yeah.
What a blast that was. For us as game day, as athletic administration, to watch our students get so excited during that game. If you go back and watch the videos or look at the pictures, y'all are excited to play, and you should be. What a great opportunity. But to see our students and how excited they were for you was a blast. It was such a cool event, and it's one of our favorite days of the year.
It's an exciting night, and everyone gets so excited for you guys, and we love being a part of that. We love hosting that, and that is something that will stay with USC basketball for as long as Quinn and I are here, however long that may be. But hopefully that's our tradition that stays well past our tenure here at USCB. Is that something that people look forward to every year now?
Yeah, USC Beaufort is an inclusive school. We have our admission standards are such that we bring in students from all different backgrounds, all different ethnicities, all different parts of the nation, and even internationally. And so also we're able to do really cool events like the one that you're talking about, the halftime event.
I think you see it really in our game day experience. Like, you know, we've been able to include you as part of our staff. We've been able to really do some cool things with Finnegan, and he now has some really awesome mascot security.
Yeah.
But really being able to, again, bring in those outside organizations, either from our community or within our own campus, such as like Best Buddies and Special Olympics, to add to our game day experience and to really, you know, bring home our mission as part of not just USB Athletics, but USCB, in that we you know, provide a great experience that includes diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging.
When we bring recruits to campus, as you saw us walking around with a recruit a couple days ago, we have a PowerPoint and we show them all the things we do as a program. And you guys are included in that PowerPoint. We show pictures and photos and tell them what we do with you around. And it was funny, I was walking around with a recruit the other day and he said, man, that's what basketball is all about. And it's a big component of what we recruit. We show them everything, and you guys are a big part of that.
I know so much of the things that you, Jeff, with PEP and with Best Buddies, and it's really nice to see the convergence of this established athletics program in the way that it is bringing in community members, not just to be spectators, but also to encourage their development as athletes, and that's happening with Special Olympics.
Yeah,
we come and we practice here, and I see that you and your friends are here supporting USCB athletes and on the team, and also that they are coming out to support you and getting involved in the things that you do with Special Olympics, which is really exciting. That's the way it should be, right? It should feel like a community.
A community, feel like a family.
Yes, exactly.
Like family. Yeah.
So here on campus, we had Best Buddies since 2018. And we like to get involved with our community members as well, because our buddies are all within the community. And we get them involved by doing Special Olympics with them. And our athletics, we get athletics very involved because it's fun for all of our buddies. Love like doing sports and everything. So it's fun for the buddies to be doing it, and it's also fun for the athletes to be able to get involved in a different way, because sometimes they don't really see it or notice disabilities until they're in that moment playing with them at a sporting event or something.
Well, that's the thing, you know, inclusion leads to more inclusion, and it leads, opportunities lead to more opportunities. So because you had the opportunity to attend the classes here, you're able to make friends with guys like Nick, right?
Yeah.
And so Nick gets involved, and that leads to more opportunities for you personally to do other things with the university. And it also allows for more opportunities for the program as a whole. What you've been able to do, you know, you got on that with the mopping duty and helping out with the basketball team. Well, that led to Jacob being able to help out with the
Finnegan,
again, opportunity leads to more opportunities.
More opportunities,
and, it's just deepens the roots of inclusion and expands the focus of the inclusion. So,
like getting people connected.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it's very important for folks who have never spent time around individuals with an intellectual disability, and there's a lot of them, okay? They've never really interacted with folks like that before. Well, this is an opportunity for them to interact. This is an opportunity for them to realize, hey, this person's just like me, except they have a disability, and that's it.
Yeah.
So, and that leads to relationships and friendships.
Like for me personally, both of my sons play and help with Special Olympics, in the Unified Special Olympics, which I did not know was a thing until honestly this year. But seeing them interact and seeing them hang out with Best Buddies, and really just to see all of it come together, seeing Jacob hit that shot and then just show his jersey, pull out and just hype it up, that's amazing, and that's absolutely everything we dream of it being and want it to be. And it's really heartwarming when we see our students, not our student athletes, not just our student athletes, but our student section get so involved and get so excited for you guys. And then too, you know, we were able to add this year with JJ. You were able to go and did some color commentary with him, and so you know we were able to really expand and just do more this year. But that night's always a special night for us, win or lose on the court or whatever. I mean, obviously we want to win, and wins are big for us. But no matter what, that night's a win.
Having you around, I mean, we loved it. Every player on the team, they got excited every time they saw you, including me. Every time I saw you, you had a smile on your face, and if I had a bad day that day, my day just turned around because you always just brought like just positivity and made us enjoy every moment out there. So I think having more people like you would just benefit us even more.
Having you guys more involved is amazing. I think it is a good opportunity for you guys and a good opportunity for us. I think more people involved, the better experiences it is. And like you commentated this year, which I thought was so cool, and I went back and watched the games and listened, and you do a great job. And then mascot security is an awesome idea too. I just think that it just gives opportunities to people to try new things and enjoy our game. We're sharing our game with you guys, and you're sharing your game with us. So.
And yeah, having you involved with the team helps so much. Just having a friendship that's not on the basketball team, I can go talk to you whenever. I know that was always a good thing. And like Kyle said, you're always a joy to us. So we appreciate you a lot for that.
I think the more we can involve ourselves with Special Olympics and get you involved, I think it's better for everybody.
I'm going to try to recruit more people.
You got to keep recruiting like we're trying to recruit players. You got to recruit, baby.
Recruit, yeah.
Well, that is my buddy Jeff Riley, District 8 in the state of South Carolina, who right now is at the state games in Columbia. Jeff, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Man, you know what? That is an awesome piece that you produced and created. Tell us about it.
Well, I had to do this for my senior capstone project, and Libby Ricardo suggested this to me, and I had some people help me with this, and all the people I met had them asked them if they would help me with this, and they said, yeah, sure. So, and I've gotten a lot of people involved.
I know you're a big basketball fan, and you spent most of your time interviewing basketball players. Tell us what you do with the basketball team at USCB.
I'm the sweat mopper. I got that job from my really awesome friend I met in class last year, Nick Monteford, and I just asked him if we wanted. I told him I wanted to get involved and help out with the team, and he said, "Yeah, sure." And that's where it all started. And my Ocean Society class when I met Nick.
You getting ready to graduate with a degree from college?
Yeah, actually, I just graduated May 2nd.
Oh, congratulations! You just graduated. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
About producing that piece, like how much edit time and camera time, and how much time did you spend in front of the camera? Give us a little breakdown.
It took when I did edit the film, my buddy JJ, Justin Jarrett, I did broadcasting with, I was at his house a whole week, and he helped me piece it all together. At first, it was like 2 hours long, so I had to say, I need to make this shorter. So we worked like the whole week and worked on it, and I liked the way he helped me, and yeah, he's an awesome person, Justin Jarrett. I met too.
Well, you're an awesome person, too, to put that piece together to highlight USCB basketball. I thought it was absolutely really well done. And I work in TV, so I got a good eye for stuff like that. That's why I wanted to have you on. I was so intrigued and impressed by the work that you did.
Thank you. Yeah, I want to get involved in like this type of work. I really love it, and found this as a hidden passion that I didn't even know about.
Well, I think that's so cool. Now tell us where you are right now and what you're doing.
I'm up at Fort Jackson for the bowling tournament, and my buddy Nick, he's my Unified partner, and he played Unified basketball, and we're at the upstairs in a room at the closing ceremony, so I had to find a quiet place to do this interview.
I know that there's a dance going on right now, and I'm sure you want to get down there and shake a leg a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Well, Jeff, I'm so grateful that you took some time away from your friends and your party to come and spend some time with us to help us raise some money for Special Olympics. Tell us, as a Special Olympic athlete, what Special Olympics has meant to you.
It's just meant to me with all the friendships I've made during basketball season and also at USCB. It's a very inclusive school, and meeting Nick and Nick getting his brother involved, and even awesome news, Nick is going to be a coach next year for basketball. I encourage him in a lot of ways since bringing him into the Special Olympics community and everything.
Well, Jeff, I want to thank you for your time, for making time, for separating yourself from your friends from the party to be with us on 24 Hours, Nothing But Net. We're out here making free throws and trying to raise some money so you can keep competing in bowling and other things you like to do.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that. I like doing all the activities.
Well, thank you for sharing your story with us. We love seeing you, and I hope you have a good finish to your night and a safe trip back to Beaufort.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And hopefully I'll talk to you soon.
All right, Jeff, take care, buddy. Thank you. Wow, what an inspiring story. I mean, he's a college grad. Another example of how Special Olympics has helped another person go to college, graduate, and look for a career, especially in TV. And, you know, quite honestly, he's going to have one in TV because he absolutely loves what he does and he has a passion for it. So if you have a passion for it, I know he's going to find a way. Right now, we are moving to fireside chat style, okay? And my friend Karen Boren, and we're going to learn a little bit about the Dwayne Davis Foundation and our partnership with them at 24 Hours Nothing But Net. So this is Karen Boren. Come in and sit down, Karen.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah. So who you got?
I thought I'd bring Dad along.
Yeah.
This is the man, the myth, the legend. The crew at Special Olympics was so kind to recreate this.
Put that on with a magnet. Okay, you can hold it too.
As part of the presentation they do here today. And this is probably in 1972-ish when he was just getting going in his coaching career at Bishop Burke High School in Gloversville, New York, before he moved to Hyde Park, New York.
Okay, so we're going with fireside chat. So as you can see, we have a little citronella here that's counting as our fire, okay? So as
works for me.
As it gets a little bit darker here, and we celebrate the legacy of your dad and celebrate your foundation. Tell us a little bit about the foundation, what it means, what it does, and why we want to partner.
Well, I'm glad you gave me half an hour then.
Yeah, you got a half hour.
My dad was a force of nature. He used, I say he was one of the richest men I ever knew, even though he was a school teacher. Because he got to couple a paycheck with 4 kids and do something he absolutely loved, which was coach. And when he first started out, he coached anything he could get his hands on. He learned soccer, he learned football because he just wanted to coach. And then he honed in on basketball and baseball as he left and went to FDR. And just for a little perspective, your parents might appreciate this. When he left Bishop Burke High School, he was making $3,500 a year.
What year was this?
It was 1972. And when he went to the Hyde Park Central School District, they gave him a raise to $7,000 a year. He thought he hit the lottery. So teaching is a very undersung, underappreciated, underthanked profession. And he got to couple it with something he absolutely loved, which was coaching. And he coached at my high school for, 35 years before he went on to college. And he coached there for 15 years at Mount St. Mary. Go Blue Knights in Newburgh. And when he passed away, I felt as though I had a mission that I had to figure out how to manifest what he had done. He was a giant rock in a lake. And that rock produced all of these waves of generational change in all of these young men and some young women as well. He ran summer camps every year. And how do I pick up that rock and carry on in his name? There's Titans of Industry, the coaches of the year themselves. And what do I do? So I found through the Haitian Sports Foundation, one evening, it was a light bulb went off over my head, and they wanted to bring basketball to the southern peninsula of Haiti. They had never played the game. And I said, that's what I'm doing with my pebble, and that's my puddle. And we got going in 2019, and we created a space for the kids to play basketball. And they have a tree that they give tribute to something that happened last week they want to get rid of, or something they hope for next week. And it's the Coach Davis tree. It's they're still working on their skills. It's not great basketball.
They're getting there,
but
though.
they're getting there. And they have, that's okay, Dad. You can take, you're good.
He liked what you said so far.
So we created the court in his name, and then we kept going. And there's a clinic that's available for the entire town, not just the students who go. And I told you when we first met that I'm a little bit of an Assateague Mustang. And if, for those folks who don't know, that's a feral horse that they all live in a pack off of the island of Maryland. And they're wild. And I'm like that. I get an idea and I run wild.
Yeah.
So we kept growing. And we just opened a school, a STEM school, and we just had a graduation for 20 kids. And we are giving no interest business loans so that they can take their skills and build businesses. And they're required to take entrepreneurial courses so that they know how to run the business once they start it. We have some ladies who started a bakery, so the school buys their baked goods to feed the students at the school. And we kept going from there. So we partnered with other foundations around the country. And I have this friend that I've known for 20 years.
Her name is Diane Dean Ross.
Diane
Ross.
Dean. And
Diane Ross.
she has kept talking about this woman, Debbie Antonelli. And this is how our story starts.
Yes.
And told us about your career, and we'd hear your voice on television. We'd say, oh, Debbie's on. Turn up the volume.
I want to take you back about your dad, because I want you to explain to everybody, FDR is Franklin Delano Roosevelt High School in Statsburg, New York.
Correct.
We actually grew up in the same neighborhood. Your dad was a pillar in the community. He was the basketball coach. So tell us a little bit about him in high school and the young men that he's impacted.
He was a very disciplined human being, and he expected the same of his teammates. And he says teammates, or he called them my boys. Practice didn't start at 7 o'clock. Practice started at 20 minutes to 7. You came and you stretched, and you had to throw, ironically, 100 free throws.
That's funny.
Before practice started. And practice started at 7 o'clock. Even now, if you asked any one of my siblings, if we're 10 minutes early, we're already late.
I had a coach like that. That was the same way.
So don't be late was another big mantra of his. And now as I've gotten older, I understand the gravity of what those 3 little words actually mean, which is don't be late for your life. Show up prepared. be accepting of failure because it's going to happen? How do you pivot? How do you make it work for you? We're doing the same thing with the foundation in his name. And we have video chats with the kids about things that they can improve on and why I got where I am and how I landed here.
Yeah.
So he, to this day, even though he's been gone 15 years, my mom can call pretty much any one of them who still live in the area, and there's a ton of them, and they'll come and help her do anything.
How many years?
It's a brotherhood.
How many years did he coach in high school?
35,
So how
37.
How many fellas do you think that is?
Oh my gosh, it's thousands. I say we have one biological brother, but I have thousands of brothers. Our house was poised, as you know, right across the street from the high school. It was the study center. After school, my sister kept saying, "How come they get to eat all our snacks?" Because the teams were watching Days of Our Lives with my mom. And it was a revolving door. Our home was an auxiliary part of the gym for his teams. And when I was really young, and they'd never be allowed to do that now, but he used to lock us in with the teams for the weekend, and my mom would cook. And we'd play all kinds of games with the kids and play hide and seek and to team build.
Yeah.
So it was more than that's my dad's team. They were family.
So you create the foundation in your dad's name, and your purpose was driven by your experience with Haiti and the Haitian Sports Committee to be able to do some things there. But what are the things that you're doing in the United States?
Well, we partnered with the All Rise Foundation. That's Aaron Judge's foundation. He does a lot of work. Everything is centered around kids. And that's the mission of the foundation is one shot. Every kid deserves one.
Every kid deserves one shot.
Every kid.
I love it.
And we are not going to stop until we can impact as many children as possible. And COVID kind of set us backwards a little bit. We wanted to establish more work in his name in the Hudson Valley, but we moved to Florida. His name didn't resonate there, and I said, well, time to start pivoting, changing, preparing, and find some places where we can plug and play with people who, like yourself, have been working hard at impacting kids' lives. And so we do a lot of work, our partnership with All Rise. We do work with Brotherhood Sister Soul in West Harlem, another unbelievable organization that has a tremendous impact in that neighborhood in New York. 99% of the kids that participate in the programs there go off to college. The work they do is just incredible. So we've combined those two efforts and taken the kids from Brotherhood Sister Soul to Yankee Stadium, and they got to play with Aaron, and Aaron was teaching them lessons about how you prepare, how you dress, how you hold yourself, how you speak. And he and Anthony Rizzo acted like they didn't want to be anywhere else but right where they were in center field with those kids. It was
so cool.
I think you probably are the epitome of this, wielding fame and notoriety with class and dignity, which is something my father would find tremendously admirable about you.
Oh, thank you. That's kind.
That is, he held those characteristics in very high regard. And you certainly exhibit that, and that's what you're doing here with this is just, we go to a lot of fundraisers. This is unique and special and fun. And I've told a ton of people here my story already, and thank you for listening again. It's been an extraordinary pleasure to be part of this, and we hope that we can continue growing and being part of it.
I mean, it's so crazy. Like for those, like just to, you know, Karen and I actually, when we lived in New York, we lived in the same neighborhood.
3 doors down, I think.
Yeah. So, you know, my friend Diane Ross, who played high school at sports at Sanderson High School in Raleigh against me and my teammates at Cary, Diane and I became friends when we all went to college together at NC State. So she played volleyball and I played basketball. And Diane is here today with Teresa and Lila, two of my other college friends, but also my high school teammates are here. Sandy, Melinda, right? Yeah. So it's a unique thing about teammates. And what bonds us together is the role models and the leaders like your dad that has bound the thousands of young men that you talk about. What are some of the stories about some of the young men that you think your dad would be so proud to talk about?
Ironically, I think it's some of the smallest things that
Mm-hmm.
he and my mom, who is still with us, are proudest to share with the community about they have grandchildren themselves now and how this one's learned to walk. But a lot of the young men that he coached are titans of industry and leaders in their own communities. And they're an impressive bunch of men have had my father's tutelage. So it's I'm trying to think a funny story. He was a prankster. So there was always something up his sleeve, he and his brother. But one of the things, again, about community was he really made sure that the kids understood every game that was the first of the season was against a team he knew they would never beat. DeMatha.
DeMatha High, yeah.
St. Anthony's.
Wow.
He was friends with all of those coaches. And he said, you know, I know they're going to get their butts kicked, but I want them to see the world that's outside of Hyde Park, New York, and what's possible. And when he first started coaching in college, he took them down to Davidson College. And there was a young man on that team who's not very famous now, who plays for the Golden State Warriors.
Steph Curry?
Steph Curry crushed them to bits.
Your dad's team couldn't guard him, huh?
No, to smithereens.
Not many
But my
can.
father also said that was one of his easiest seasons to coach because the entire ride home from North Carolina back to Newburgh, New York, they all sat in the back of the bus very quietly and plotted how they were never going to get beat that badly again. He said it was a piece of cake. I sat on the bench and they did all the work.
That's good coaching. So when you learned about what we were doing, what were some of the things that drew you to our event that made you want to partner and be a sponsor of what we're doing?
I think the style of how you're doing this is your home. You have opened the doors, much like how I grew up, that anyone who walks through that door, although they come in a stranger, leaves as a family member. And that's how I was raised. So that value to me is so heartfelt. And that's all you've done here all weekend is treat me like family. We just met for the first time this weekend in person. And it's an extraordinary gift that your family shares with the folks that participate and the community at large. And I don't think a lot of people appreciate or understand what that takes and the kind of commitment and sacrifice that is involved for you and your family to do something like this in your home. And it was instantly something I said, like, ding, dang, why haven't we participated?
Oh, thank you. That's so cool.
So
It's really nice.
that was the...
So our missions are similar. You know, what we're trying to do is give every kid a shot, you know, regardless of your ability, your disability, whether it's intellectual disability and your opportunity to play sport. So we've grown up around sport, so we know how valuable a team is. Your dad obviously understood the value of team, and being on a team is something that you're always going to be on. So Team Antonelli, as you said so nicely about opening up our home, I mean, we're sports all the time, so we're just trying to find ways that we can raise as much money as we can so that other kids like Frankie can have an opportunity to play. Everyone deserves it. Everyone deserves one shot.
One shot.
It's such an incredible alignment with what you do, and the stars align for us for sure.
We can blame Diane for this.
We can blame her or give her credit for it. I'd like to give her credit.
Yes, give her credit for
She's-
sure.
Pepper over there is doing a heck of a job bringing new people to.
And one thing I've discovered about you is you're very humble. And whether we like to acknowledge this or not, to support programming like this requires funding.
Yes.
So everybody out there who may be listening, we're still at it. So
Yes.
keep giving.
We need it. We're still 24 hours nbn.com. We're asking everyone to give 1 penny for every free throw I make. That's
See, I would say a
2,400 free
dime.
throws.
At least
you can
a
say
dime.
a dime. I think if we can get 1 penny, that's $24. I think people might consider giving 50, instead of 24, or they might think, I can give $100. And $100 has a huge impact on one athlete's opportunity to compete.
Absolutely.
And right now in South Carolina, we have our state games going on at Fort Jackson. You saw
Yes,
the interview
I've
with
been
Jeff Riley.
Talking to the team over
Yeah,
here.
the team
It's
here is
tremendous
great.
work they're doing.
They are, and there's a lot of athletes that are getting the opportunity to play this weekend because of what we're doing here. It helps. It's not the only reason, but it is one of the reasons why.
Well, and your mom said to me earlier, if you don't watch sports, what do you do? But sports represent a really unique opportunity in a chaotic world. It's discipline and calm and peace and brotherhood and sisterhood.
Yeah.
And
I say Frankie needs to
I'll
learn.
watch cornhole.
Frankie needs to learn, like other Special Olympic athletes, the same lessons all athletes and everyone learns. You can fail and you can get better. You can do your best and not have success and try again. You can set some goals. You can have healthy lifestyle choices. All of those things matter. And Special Olympics is a wonderful place to give a kid one shot. It's awesome.
Indeed.
Well, you've done a remarkable job with your foundation. I'm no
Mother Teresa. I'm getting more out of it than the kids.
Hey, I feel the same way.
I'm loving it. It's really given me a sense of purpose I didn't know that I had. So,
People don't know how hard behind the scenes that you're working to impact somebody that you may not even know. And I feel the same way. We're all here collectively. It's not just me. It's a team effort. For me, it's not about the free throws, even though I'm very competitive and want to shoot it at a good level.
Can we hear it for the lady?
But it's
Lord.
it's the free throws that brings us together to allow us to share the stories that we're sharing. The Jeff Riley story that we just shared, and your story about your incredibly handsome dad. And
Sue said, where's Sue? She said this is her new boyfriend. I'll talk to my mom and see.
Is there anything else you'd like to share about your foundation? Anything about your family, your dad? And we're hoping this is a long-term arrangement.
Well, indeed it will be. It's a perfect fit for both of us, I believe.
Yeah.
And I want to see continued success for both of our organizations. It's like I said, I don't know how we didn't do it sooner. I hope tomorrow we're going to give you a very nice surprise.
I am very excited about that. We are trying our hardest to get to the 2nd million as fast as we can. I get AARP mail. I don't know how much longer I can keep doing this.
Well, you're killing it right now.
Well, it's about finishing the task. That's part of it. But I couldn't do it without the support of Dr. Dish. Kendra is here. She has been incredible, Dr. Dish. So somebody who donates is going to get an opportunity to randomly be selected to win one of these machines. So Dr. Dish has been my partner from the beginning. And when you get partners like that are in it with you and want to help other kids succeed, it's just one shot. It's one ask. And it's not hard, Right.
And you don't understand how the impact that
Yeah.
it inspires them to do something that they might, just like we heard from Mr. Riley. He
Yes.
didn't even know I had that in me. I didn't know I loved that so
He
much.
didn't know I liked doing
Yeah.
that, but somebody gave him a chance.
Yeah.
He's a Special Olympic athlete competing right now in Fort Jackson, and he's probably dancing his shoes off right now, though. I'm sure he's having a good time. But
I don't know. Frankie's got that pretty locked up today. He's having some fun.
How about the live music that we've
Oh
had?
my
What an
goodness,
incredible,
such talented folks.
What an upgrade.
Yeah.
And you have helped us upgrade it too. But thank you, Karen.
No, thank you. It's really an honor and a privilege to be here with you and your family and this group of people. It's extraordinary.
Well, we're coming up on the 9 o'clock hour, and we're not even halfway through.
And you better get warm.
We got a lot more free throws to make.
All right.
And we got a lot more fun
And
through
we got
the night.
some more fundraising to do.
Yes, we do. So we are at $116,000.
Nice. Woo!
See, people ask me why I don't sleep, and this is why. Because the number keeps going up, and it just keeps making it better for someone else.
Well,
right?
my very lively grandmother left us at 92, and she was out all the time carousing and having a good time. And I said, when are you going to sleep? She said, I'll catch up when I'm dead.
Well, that's going to be me this weekend.
Yeah.
But
well, thank you for the opportunity
oh my
to
goodness.
talk about DwayneDavisFoundation.com and partner with you guys. It's really, again, an honor.
Thank you so much for everything. Y'all, Karen Boren, thank you so
Thanks,
much.
everybody.
Right? What an incredible opportunity to share. Thank you. You're so good. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, you're amazing.
You're amazing. Okay, we're gonna. Okay, let's watch it, and I'm gonna warm up, and then we're gonna get 100 more free throws. Frankie wore the belt out here. I love it. See, this is the $1 million belt. We need to change this one to a 2 eventually, and we're working on it.
We could hear.
We're working
I
on
had
it.
my fingers on it.
Okay.
longer.
You know, I think the first thing is how much Hunter means to us. You know, Hunter is someone that's around our program, around our athletic department a few times a week. And Debbie's obviously become a friend of ours over the years, you know, with just how much she does, you know, for our athletic department. But, you know, Debbie's just obviously this is something she's very convicted in, and rightfully so. And the more I've learned about it, I think the more that we've really jumped in, and as has Janet, and you know, something to support not only Special Olympics but Debbie as well, and Hunter. Yeah, I think he brings joy. I think you know, anytime you're around Hunter, you're gonna get honesty, feedback, whether you want it or not, and just passion. I mean, he loves, you know, not only basketball on the men's and the women's side. He loves everything that's UNC Asheville, you know, just sports in general. So he's a joy for us, you know. Anytime, bad mood, good mood, whatever mood Hunter's in, you're about to get in that particular mood. Win or lose, he's gonna give you a critique of how that particular game went. Yeah, I think for me, I grew up in a single parent home, you know, so I grew up in the Boys and Girls Club, and if it had not been for the community, I'm not really sure that I'd be where I'm at, you know, whether it's a program after school wise or just a club in general, whatever it is, the community supports that. And I grew up in a small town that supported me through programs like that. And again, whether it's a clinic or a camp or whatever it may be, it's one of the reasons I've really enjoyed being here so much over the last 7 years, is just how much the community pours into things like this. but this one's particularly special because of what it means to the people who really, support us.
You're like Debbie hosting coffee! You're like Debbie hosting coffee! You're like Debbie hosting coffee!
Okay, let's go. Thank you, Karen Boren and the Dwayne Davis Foundation. We are so thrilled for tomorrow. It's a big tease. I know she's got a surprise for me. I can't wait. I'm very excited. It's so fun to partner with new people. Okay, so we're at the 9 o'clock hour. All right, go ahead, Sandy. Yeah, we're ready. Okay. Thank you. One. Two. Three. Four. Four. Five. Six. Seven. Eight. Nine. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. Oh, 18. 19. 19. 20. 21. 21. Nope. 22. 23. 24. 25. 26. 26. 27. 28. 29. 30. 31. 32. 33. 34. 34. 35. 36. 37. 38. 39. No. 40. 41. 42. 43. 44. 45. 46. 47. 48. 48. 49. I think you still.
There we go. She needed a break.
49. 49. 50. 51. 52. 53. Oh, I missed it. 53. 54. 54. 55. 'Oh, come on. How can I be long? 55. 56. 57. 58. 59. 60. 61. 62. 63. 64. 65. 66. 67. 68. 69. 70. 71. 72. 73. 74. 75. 76. 77. 78. 79. Oh, wind, 80. Come on, help me out a little bit. 81. Thank you. 82. 83. 84. Short. 85. Thank you. 86. 87. 88. 89. 90. 91. 91. It's all right. 92. 93. 94. 95. 96. 97. 98. 99. 'All right. Another 100. Another 100. Is that the right order? Tim Shriver next?
Yes.
Okay, so we got the great pleasure of Mr. Tim Shriver, who runs Special Olympics International. He is the son of Eunice Kennedy Shriver, who is one of my role models. Eunice Kennedy Shriver created Special Olympics in her backyard in Chicago in the 60s, and we've raised $1 million in the backyard for Special Olympics, and we're working on the second million. So here's the interview with Mr. Shriver.
Well, what a pleasure and an incredible treat to have the chairman of Special Olympics with us, Tim Shriver. Tim, what an honor. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, the honor is mine. I mean, if I could hit 1 or 2 free throws out of 10, I'd be happy, not to mention 100 an hour, not to mention for 24 hours. So I'm in awe of what you're doing on the court and off the court, and really, really proud to be able to lend my voice in support of this extraordinary gathering of people and collection of goodwill that our movement needs, but our country needs also.
We do, Tim, and we're just doing our little part here in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, but this crazy idea has actually worked, and we couldn't be more proud of what Team Antonelli has been able to put together with all the people that have jumped in to help us. And it's not just raising awareness, we've been able to raise some money. I know people try to do fundraisers all around the world and try to help make a difference. We're just trying to do our small part. It really means a lot that you would join us on the 24-hour live stream.
Well, the thing, Debbie, is, like you say, small part, but I hope no one actually believes that. I hope everyone knows that that everyone's small part is actually huge, that the small gifts we bring, when we put them together, can work across all kinds of walls and barriers and obstacles. The things we think we can't change, we sometimes think, oh, this is too big, or that's too difficult, or that's never going to change. It's only by small actions that we actually reverse that. I'm sitting here on the shoulders of my mom, who said at the end of her life, all I ever did was teach children with special needs how to swim. And in some ways, she couldn't have been more wrong, but in some ways, she was right. It was her small gift that made so many other people feel safe and comfortable and empowered to give their small gifts. And together, then that's when we become, no one does anything big on their own. We're all doing something small, but the small is big. That's my message. And I hope everybody who's volunteering, everybody who's giving, everybody who's joining in the live stream will recognize that by participation, you send out a message that we can make the world more inclusive, that we can break down walls of discrimination and bias, that we can open the doors of our schoolhouses and our community centers and our sports organizations and our places of employment and transportation and housing. We can do all those things. None of them are too big to change if we work together and each add what is small by ourselves, but which is big together.
I mean, that's why you're the chairman of Special Olympics. You're the voice, you're the face, you're the one that helps sell in so many different areas and so many places around the world. You mentioned your mother. She's a role model of mine. I often think about her while I'm training, because I know how hard it is to do what I'm trying to do, but I also know how hard it was to do what she did when she first started Special Olympics. Can you describe a little bit about the history there and what your mom has meant?
Yeah, well, my mom grew up in a time when a person with an intellectual disability was a family shame. Most people would have hidden their children. Most people, sadly, many people gave their children up for adoption, which they thought was adoption, but was really institutionalization. But my mom had the great privilege of having grandparents who decided to keep their daughter home with them so she could grow up with her brothers and sisters. Rosemary, my aunt, who had an intellectual challenge, grew up around her brothers, Jack and Bobby and Joe and Teddy, and she grew up around her sisters, Kathleen and Eunice and Pat and Jean, and they all grew up together as a family. So my mother knew that her sister was beautiful. She knew her sister had gifts, and that the world said she didn't. She knew it was a lie, right? She knew it was wrong. And she didn't have to read it in a book. She didn't have to, come and study it in a course. She knew the world was wrong about her sister. So it gave her a certain fire, Debbie. It gave her a certain passion, prove people wrong who honestly she knew were wrong. So when doctors told her these children were hopeless, she said, that's not true. And when policymakers said, there's nothing that can be done for these children, there's no point in bringing them to school, she said, that's not true. That's wrong. And that kind of passion made her, when we moved to Washington, when I was just 2 years old, a couple of mothers called her and said, there's nothing for my child. And she said, not anymore, there isn't. There's something now. Bring your child to my house, and we're going to have some games and some activities, and I'll teach your children to swim. And that was it. It was just that impulse that built up anger, that built up love and compassion, that built up faith in humanity, and honestly, a natural love of sport. I mean, my mother you know, in the middle of the 20th century, grew up as a woman who loved to compete and who loved sport. She loved to swim. She loved to play football. She loved to play tennis. She loved to sail. But you put her in any, just say, let's go out and rally for a minute. And before you know it, she'd say, I'm up 3-0. So she loved to compete. You know, I was like, whoa, I thought we were just rallying. No, the last 3 points, I've won them. So she loved to compete. And, you know, all those things came together to make it possible for Special Olympics to have, you know, for us to have the license, for the rest of us to join in. And as you said at the beginning, give our small gift. But it was, you know, it's each of us doing that. People are looking at you, Debbie, and they're going, wow, look at what she's doing. Wow, maybe I could do my small thing. Maybe someone's in 5th grade or 6th grade watching. And they say, maybe in my school, I could go out and shoot baskets after school with the kids who are in the special education program. Maybe I could sit with them on the bus. Maybe I could go down at the cafeteria and include them at my table. And then you've got small plus the small plus the small, and we got the big. That's what my mother really wanted. One of the reasons she built the Special Olympics movement on the backs and on the shoulders of volunteers is because she wanted average people to take ownership and participate in this movement, because she felt it was by bringing all people to the experience of seeing the beauty she knew was there that we could change the culture. You know, if it had just been hired hands, so to speak, then professionals would have taken over the movement. But she wanted all of us in, everybody's small gift to make a giant gift possible.
Tim, I'm listening to you and I'm trying to keep the emotions in check, because just the description of what you call small things are things that as parents, what we want to have our kids to be included. You're telling this story, I'm sure it feels like it's the first time you've told it. You say it with such great passion and there's such power behind it, because we both know that everything that you said is absolutely true about inclusion. I'm looking at the corporate world today, and I'm starting, because now my advocacy has shifted from the IEP process to the employment process, right? With my son, Frankie, he's 25, and I'm starting to see a lot more diversity and inclusion and acceptance across corporate America. Even companies in their HR are starting to put together divisions in their human resources where you're making sure that you're employing people with intellectual or physical disability. How about the push there with what Special Olympics could do? Everyone knows about the athletic side of it, but what about some of the other things that Special Olympics can do?
Well, you know, we've known for a long time, Debbie, that participation in sports, this is true of all sports, participation in sports contributes to a lot of things that are not just learning how to dribble a basketball or learning how to shoot with your left foot if you're playing soccer. Yeah, you learn the sports skills, but you learn teamwork. You also learn confidence. You know that you have a role to play, that you're indispensable on your team. You learn how to build relationships and friendships, because sports requires not just, you know, getting to the game and scheduling the game and laying out the field and timing and scoring the game and getting people fed after the game. It takes a whole community, right? So you've got to build all those things. And maybe, you know, most importantly, it builds an enormous amount of grit. You know that some days you're going to fall short. No athlete is undefeated. You know, Michael Jordan famously says, I missed, you know, 22,000 shots or something like that. So the greatest amongst us still knows how to try really, really hard, persevere really hard. And when you don't make the mark, to continue on. Now, why am I saying all these things? These are extraordinarily important employment skills. Employers are looking for people who are responsible, who are gritty, who know how to be on a team, who know how to build community, who know how to get along with others, who are willing to sacrifice themselves for the larger mission of the organization, the company, whatever movement they're in. Our athletes are extraordinarily well prepared for the workplace, even though we don't run any courses, so to speak, on the workplace. It's the inner skills, the social skills, the emotional skills that are developed in sport that make our athletes such extraordinary employees. So the movement is eager to make that case to our corporate sponsors and friends around the world. And we are increasingly doing so. And with our, as you know, Debbie, we're training more and more athletes as leaders. I wish every single athlete that participated in the movement could also have a chance to be a part of the athlete leadership program, because there we can actually train people in some of those skills that will actually allow them to show off what they've learned on the playing field. But we've got to do better. You know, the statistics are bad, but somewhere between 70 and 80% of our community is not employed full-time.
Mhm.
And a huge percentage of them don't earn a standard minimum wage. That's not acceptable. This movement was designed to break down walls of discrimination and oppression and misunderstanding and fear. We've got to do that now when it comes to giving people a full life, which includes, yes, access to early childhood, yes, access to sport and physical education, access to school, but also access to community living and work. It is the job in the end that for most of us from whatever age we enter the job market, whether it's 16 or 17 or 18 or 20 or 25, whatever age, hopefully we have long lives, 20, 30, 40 years of our lives will be spent in the workplace. Our athletes, our community deserves that chance.
Well, that's what we're trying to do here under Team Antonelli. You know, Frankie graduated from the Clemson Life program. I know you're good buddies with Jim and Beth Clements.
Yeah.
As he's the president of Clemson, he's living and working with support in Clemson. Got a couple of roommates, and he's doing it, you know, and it's just absolutely amazing. It's amazing. He didn't want to come home. He doesn't want to hang out with us anymore. He wants to do his own thing. So it's pretty cool.
Now you're going to have all the people from all the competitive schools to Clemson calling us and saying, wait a minute, what about Alabama? What about all these other places? But Clemson is doing a fantastic job. Jim Clemens, your president there, also a member of our board, is a terrific advocate for this work. We got to take that around the country. We can't have 10 or 15 universities. We've got to have hundreds, thousands of universities and colleges and higher education institutions welcoming our athletes and welcoming them so they can stay and work after school.
I'm with you on that. I'm doing my part at North Carolina State University right now.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
So last year we were in Orlando. This year you're going to be in Germany for the games. Tell us a little bit about that and why that's important to take the games around to different places.
Well, you know, there's nothing like a Special Olympics World Games to change a community, to change attitudes. State games in North Carolina or South Carolina, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10,000 people will come and local news will cover it. And it will have this extraordinary effect. Same thing is true on the world stage. We go to Berlin, we go to one of these, one of the great cities of the world, but a city with a very difficult history, at least in our most recent time, a city that exemplified hatred, a city that exemplified division, a city that exemplified violence and war. It was at the center of so much of the last century's challenges. Today, it stands as an icon of the capacity to move and change and repair the faults and flaws and fears and damage of the past in a way that exemplifies what's possible in the future. So to be in Berlin with 6,000, 7,000 Special Olympics athletes from 180, 190 countries to speak to the world about people always say to me, well, who do you look to for leadership in how to heal the wounds in the world? All this divisiveness, you know, Debbie, it's like a cancer in our bodies. Anger, hostility, contempt, hatred. I hate those people. I hate those people. I can't stand that group. I can't abide what they think. I mean, it's like a cancer. People say to me, well, who do you think is going to help us overcome that? I say, look to the athletes of Special Olympics.
I don't know how anybody can not listen to you, Tim, and feel drawn to everything that you're saying. I mean, even if you...
I have good teachers. I have good teachers, Debbie, as you know. I have very good teachers.
Yes, you did. You had some of the best teachers, obviously, by the way you've been able to conduct the business and direct Special Olympics and keep it in the forefront of a lot of people's minds, especially now. I know where your leadership comes from. I'm assuming the motivation comes from a similar source, or is there a different source?
Well, you know, I look around the world and I think I got the best job anybody has. I have a front row seat for the best in humanity. And I get to meet people like you and Frankie and Jim. We talk about Jim Clemens. I mean, I get to meet the most extraordinary human beings on earth doing the most courageous and brave things. people say, isn't it nice that what you do, Tim, or that's so good that I'm like, I'm the most selfish person on the planet. I have the best job. I get to work with the best human beings. I get to see endless streams of hope coursing out into the world, and I get to just grab onto some of those streams and ride. We all have our ups and downs, and we all have moments of sadness and loss. We all have moments of triumph and victory. But a big part of life is learning how to keep a focus on the reasons we each have to believe in each other and ourselves and in our faith, if that's part of your life. I find in this movement thousands and thousands of reasons a day to believe in us, believe in myself even, and to believe that I'm part of something much bigger than anything I could ever possibly imagine. And so, the sustenance it's the daily food of the Special Olympics movement and all the work that surrounds it that keeps me going.
Tim, I'm so grateful for your time. I know what a busy guy you are, and I know how hard it is to get on your schedule, and I'm so grateful that you gave us some time.
Debbie, thank you very much. 24 hours. Thank you. Keep those eyes open, keep the forearms and the shoulders strong, continue to inspire us. We will follow you, and together we'll do extraordinarily important things for the inclusion revolution. I can't thank you enough for leading and for including me in it.
Hey, my name is Josh Wall, Area 4 Greenville, Special Olympics, South Carolina. I've been a part of Special Olympics for about 12 years now, and a unified partner for both our unified basketball team and our flag football team.
Okay. What do you love about Special Olympics?
I love the inclusion aspect of Special Olympics, that it gives the athletes that I care so much about, and population that I care so much about, the opportunity to experience, the joys and magic of teamwork and in sports and competition, where otherwise they might not have that opportunity.
Of course. And then, so do you only coach or play basketball, or do you do other sports too?
I assist. I'm a unified partner for basketball as well as flag football. Over the years, I've helped out with the majority of our sports that we have in Greenville, including swimming, softball, golf, a little bit of everything.
Okay. Is there a sport that you never thought that you'd coach that you ended up doing after you joined Special Olympics?
I grew up as a pretty well-rounded athlete. I played like pretty much everything growing up, so I was pretty familiar with everything. With pickleball getting really big now, I never thought that I would have any involvement with that, which my involvement is still pretty limited. But it's pretty unique to see. It's a sport that is easy for everyone to play. It's, for athletes young and old, so it's pretty great.
Okay. And then what do you want others to know about Special Olympics?
That it's, the cliche revolution of inclusion is one thing, but I think it's so neat to be able to be a part of something that's a global movement that is really all about inclusion and making folks that are very often overlooked and underserved the opportunity to participate in sports.
And then do you have a favorite memory or moment?
Yeah, my favorite memory from Special Olympics was back in 2018. I had the opportunity to travel with our basketball team to Seattle to compete in USA Games. We made it into the championship match. The game didn't end up being very close. I think we lost by 8 or 10, but we had an athlete who the entire week did not score a single point. But despite his shots and shooting and all that stuff, not a single point the entire week. However, he played fantastic defense, was tenacious, a bulldog. So a ultra valuable part of the team. In the championship game, last second shot, Zach throws up a shot, sinks it. I don't think that I've ever jumped as high as I have in my entire life. We get done, Zach gets the game ball, all of our coaches and players are crying. The team from Louisiana, their coaches are crying. It's just a super special moment. Just to see, you know, we're from South Carolina, they're from Louisiana, they won, we lost. But it was only about that moment. It was beyond basketball. It was beyond medals and all that stuff. It was really, really cool.
That is an unbelievable moment. The other team was cheering more for Zach than they were the fact they won. And then other than Seattle, have you been out? Where else have you been in the country? And then also maybe out of the country?
Besides Seattle, I haven't been anywhere yet. However, next year, our flag football team has been selected to represent Team South Carolina, so we'll be up in Minneapolis.
Okay, awesome. And then finally, what does special mean to you?
What does special mean to me? Just simply a little bit different, but at the same time, it's the same. I think more than the athlete, it's the opportunity that's special.
Got it. And then if there's anything else you'd like to say about the Special Olympics, that's all the questions I had for you.
Yeah, I don't have anything besides if you're able to, and whoever sees this, get involved with your local program. It'll change your life.
My name is Latrice Pringle. I'm from Florence, South Carolina, and I love Special Olympics. I play basketball, track, tennis, volleyball, snowboarding, swimming, all of it.
Got it. Do you have a favorite sport that you played?
Softball and snowboarding.
Okay. How long have you been involved with Special Olympics?
Since I was 21.
Okay. And what do you want others to know about the Special Olympics?
It's fun to get involved with other people.
Do you have a favorite memory or moment?
Yeah, when I went to World Winter Games.
What did you do there when you went to
snowboarding in Austria?
Did you win a medal?
First place.
Yep.
Gold medal. And what did,
I was going. When you went, where did you go?
We went to Slamane.
Okay. And what was the best part about going? Talk about what you experienced and all
the different food and the water was different. And we went to the ice cave. It was an ice cave we went to.
Was there a favorite food dish?
No, not really.
You just like the food in general. Mm-hmm. And what does special mean to you?
Just getting involved with other people and showing sportsmanship.
Awesome.
Let me see. I'm trying to think. I'll pull something else. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us. We know you said snowboarding and some of your other favorite events. Tell us a time about when something cool happened to you, or like a cool win. Tell them what happened.
When I went to Colorado for X Games.
Oh, what did you do there?
Snowboarding.
What was cool about that?
The different altitude. The weather was different. Yeah, the weather was different. And we got meet celebrities and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've been ESPN, VIP, everything.
Got it. So with snowboarding, do you like freestyle snowboarding better?
Sometimes.
Mm-hmm. As opposed to, do you like going on the terrain park with the rails and the jumps and everything?
Yes.
My name is Jim Lewis, and what I love most about Special Olympics is the opportunity that it gives the members of our community to, enjoy new experiences and do things they've never had the opportunity to do before.
And then what sports do you coach?
I coach basketball. I'm an assistant coach in a lot of different sports, bocce, bowling. I'm also a coach at kayaking. Let's see. That's about it.
Do you have a favorite sport to coach?
Not really. I mean, there's parts of every program that I participate in that, that are my favorite. So it's, really it's just seeing the progress that the athletes make as they train and, to help them reach their fullest potential. And you do see that over time. I've been involved with this for about 5 years with coaching, and you see the players start to gain skills, gain confidence, and again, get that opportunity to compete at the state level, regional competitions, and even national and international competitions. It's just an incredible experience.
Of course. What do you want others to know about Special Olympics?
I think the number one thing is, to understand that it's not, you don't have to have a family member to enjoy the experience. It's not incredibly time consuming. You come out and you're going to spend maybe an hour a week doing these things, and it's going to change your life for the better. Everybody involved with Special Olympics, my experience has been, whether it's the athlete, the volunteer, the coaches, every single person I've known in the 5 years I've been doing this, their life has improved because of their involvement with Special Olympics.
And how long have you been involved with Special Olympics?
I've only been involved for about 5 years. My daughter actually went all through public school without us really knowing anything about Special Olympics. She got introduced to it through a coworker, and we've just kind of run with it from there. So she started bowling, and then we just expanded out into other sports. And now we go year round.
Do you have a favorite memory or moment from the Special Olympics?
I think, my favorite moment was probably the first fall games I went to, and walking into that convention hall with over 1,000 athletes there, and just seeing the camaraderie and the joy. And it's like, wow, this is such a positive environment. And this is something that, it was just an incredible experience. And that's kind of when I decided, you know what, I really need to get more involved with this.
And what does special mean to you?
Special to me, it just means opportunity. I mean, it's just, again, in my personal situation with my daughter going all the way through public school, never really getting the opportunity to participate in neurotypical sports, never getting that opportunity to strive, compete, to win, to lose with grace, to learn how to lose with grace. So to me, that everything about that is special, and that that's really, you get to the heart of what Special Olympics is. It's not just about kids winning medals. It's about the experiences, the relationship, and the community, the sense of community that's built. My daughter is friends with athletes from all over the state of South Carolina, athletes from all over the United States, and she had the opportunity with the World Games to make friends internationally from Ireland and Finland and Great Britain and Germany, and it's just an incredible opportunity. And the great thing is it's there for anybody that wants it. There's no membership fees. There's no registration fees. It's there. And the environment is just so inclusive, non-judgmental. Everybody's supported. It's always positive, and everybody's excited about it that's involved with it.
That's amazing. So that was all of our questions, but is there anything else you'd like to say about Special Olympics?
Just anybody that's never experienced it, particularly parents, if you have a child and maybe that child's not super into sports, bring them out to a practice, let them try it. You'll be amazed how many of our athletes didn't really want to play bocce, but boy, they came out and they loved it. And then, then they decided to try basketball, and then they decided to try kayaking, and then and it just grows from there. And the opportunity is there for everybody that wants it to do it to the level they want to do it to. So it's a great opportunity.
Hi, my name is Sheldon Murray, and I play basketball for Special South Carolina at Area 6.
So what position do you play in basketball?
Power forward center, because I have a size like Shaq and Zion Williamson.
Shaquille O'Neal, I like that. And how long have you been involved with the Special Olympics?
This is my 7th season playing basketball for Special Olympics. So I've been around since 2018.
Got it. And what else do you want others to know about Special Olympics?
Is that it's like a free for all for all the athletes. It doesn't matter what age you are. If you have the abilities to play sports like track and field, tennis, or pickleball or bocce, if you want to do it, Special Olympics will be the right place to do it.
What do you love most about Special Olympics?
It changed my life. It changed my life like completely.
How did it change your life?
Because while I was in high school, I was in a homeless situation, and because I couldn't afford to go to college. And then once I heard that Special Olympics does basketball, I was like, "This is what I want to do after high school." And then once I did it, then the rest was history.
I love it. So what's your favorite memory or moment from playing basketball for the Special Olympics?
My favorite moment was my second year. I played basketball. I played my second state championship game with an injured back. And it was like playing like Emmitt Smith playing their shoulder injury or Michael Jordan playing the flu game. And I was in tears because I was in so much pain, but I can't let my team down. And I still managed to score points with a messed up back. And I was in pain, but I fought through it, and then I helped my team win the state championship that year.
Just like when Kobe went out there, torn Achilles, he was getting those free throws.
Yes, yeah.
And then this is our last question, but what does special mean to you?
It's like a motivation to me because I used to get bullied a lot because people thought that I wasn't gonna be like great while at sports because I was just like average big guy that looks like people call me ugly and stuff. So I use that as motivation. I didn't let that turn me down. And then once I saw the Kobe Bryant footage and all the Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett footage, and it helped me become the player that I am today. And also to all the athletes that want to be part of Special Olympics, don't let anyone judge your ability. Use that as motivation and be yourself.
Shelly Davis Bessner. What do I love about Special Olympics? That's a really tough question because there is so much to love. I think some of the things that I love the most and are the most important is actually like the social aspect of it and the chance for like a lot of the athletes to build relationships and make friends and go to birthday parties or go out to eat. So to me, the social aspect is very important, but also it's really cool to see the different accomplishments. Like we had one basketball player who for 3 years literally just ran around the gym, and maybe we get him to do a couple like passes and that was it. And then year 4, he came in and he started playing basketball. So seeing those accomplishments are like, it's a pretty amazing thing to me, at least, because I know what a big deal it is for the family and for that athlete. And then, I don't know, the social, the accomplishments, the camaraderie. I know for me, like when I get to go to practice, that's like, it's my sanity for the day, I say. Like, we go through our regular daily operations and then we get to go to practice with like all of our athletes and just feel the excitement and celebrate the wins and the losses and everything together. So just, I don't know, Special Olympics just makes your day better. Some of the sports I coach are basketball, swimming, golf, we do kickball, which isn't Special Olympics sport. We also do hip hop. And then I've done like rhythmic gymnastics and tennis and bocce and softball. So if we have it in South Carolina, I'm going to at least try to give it a whirl. So
awesome. Is there any sport that you've never like done before or anything you've never been involved with that you started coaching with Special Olympics?
So I actually was not much of an athlete growing up. And one of the sports I absolutely never played was golf. But I knew how important a sport like golf or tennis or swim was because it's something like we can do independently throughout our entire life. Like, a lot of us, when we become adults, we might not play on a basketball team anymore, or we not play soccer anymore, but we can get out on the golf course. So I started a golf program before I even touched my first golf club. So it was a learning experience, but I really enjoy it. So, yeah.
Awesome. How long have you been involved with Special Olympics?
So I've been involved with Special Olympics of South Carolina for over 20 years now. And it's just been a great 20 years. Maybe I'll get 20 more in.
And what do you want others to know about Special Olympics?
I think whenever I talk to people about Special Olympics and they don't know like anything about it, I always start with that I've taken an athlete to China. Like that's where I start when I describe Special Olympics, because I want people to understand like the magnitude of it. It's not just the track and field once a year that most people know what Special Olympics is about. Like, no, like we travel to China and golf. We travel to other countries. These many countries participate in Special Olympics. It's not just here in America or Northern America. So I want people to understand like the magnitude of Special Olympics and see, because usually you're talking to somebody to create the awareness and get them to support it, whether it's financially or just to support it and help create more of the awareness. So it's like you want them to understand like the vastness behind it. It's not just kids coming out to play for the day. Like, no, they're working towards something. They are athletes and they're working towards something like bigger and greater. Most of them, not everybody, because we have room for everybody of all abilities to participate. But I don't know. I like people to know like the vastness of it.
Corey, do you have a favorite memory or moment from the Special Olympics?
Oh, I have a good handful of favorite memories and moments. Again, we talk about accomplishments. I have one athlete who, for swimming, for years and years, she did like the 10-meter float or 15-meter walk. And it was a few years into our swim team, and she did her first full lap, and the whole team is in the pool, but they recognize that she just completed her first lap on her own, and like everybody stopped to like celebrate her, and it was such a big deal for her. That's one of my favorites. And then another one, we had an athlete, we got to go to USA Games for swimming, and she got signed up for a longer event than we expected. And I was very nervous if she was going to be capable of swimming that distance. And like, she got out of the pool and had swam it, and she was beaming. And I like just start kind of crying. She's like, "Ha, Coach Ellie, you're crying." And she just like starts laughing and goes on about her day. Like there's nothing to it. But like, I don't know. I always just remember that moment because this is like, it's just one of those proud moments. You know, you get to see them like grow and blossom and make these accomplishments that you weren't even sure yourself if they would. So they proved me wrong.
My name is Billy Wilson, and Special Olympics, I love everything about Special Olympics. I first started back in 1982. And it's been good. It's been good. It's been good to me and the athletes and everybody that I've been around Special Olympics.
Got it. And what sports have you played or coached during that?
I've coached anywhere from powerlifting to tennis to basketball, tennis, let's see, swimming, aquatics. I've coached, let's see, I think everything except for equestrian. Everything except for equestrian. I'm looking forward to coaching in pickleball. That's going to be a challenge for me. And even though I got a lot of tennis players, they play very well, and I'm looking forward to that. And hopefully we'll get a chance to do that this year. Yeah.
Awesome. Was there any sport that you weren't much interested in that you ended up coaching after you joined Special Olympics?
That was mainly, I guess, powerlifting. You know what I'm saying? And I had the opportunity to coach it in World Games and in the National Games. So that was a challenge for me too as well. But it was really good, really good. I love the experience. I love the challenge too as well. Yeah.
So you mentioned the World Games. Mm-hmm. Is there anywhere out of the country you've been for the World Games?
No. Matter of fact, I was very fortunate. I had to go out. I was all the World Games that was here in the United States, the times when I went. Yeah.
And where were those located?
That was in North Carolina. I think in 99, in 2099, I think it was. And that was a great experience. I had the world, let's see, I had the powerlifting then. Powerlifting, and the team did real well. So I was very proud of that. You know what I'm saying? Always proud of the athletes that when they display such challenge for them too as well. You know, did real well. Yes.
Of course. And what do you want others to know about the Special Olympics?
That Special Olympic it's really is a challenge, but it's a rewarding sport in every category. And I think anybody that challenged themselves to be able to do it and persevere in that, I feel like it'd be very rewarding for them too as well.
Do you have a favorite memory or moment?
It would have to be probably the World Games '99. It was very rewarding for me and very rewarding for the athletes because they did so well. And we met so many different friends during that time from different countries and everything. And I think that was the most exciting part for me. Yeah.
Did you just coach powerlifting during those Olympics or other sports?
That was just my main sport that I coached in the World Games. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then what does special mean to you?
Special means that it is special. You know what I'm saying? In every aspect of the word special. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean they're developmental or anything like that. I mean because they are special athletes. And we always think that they can't do something. When we least expect that they can't do nothing, they do it. And they are very challenging too as well, very well too as well. Yeah.
Love it. And then is there anything else you'd like to say about the Special Olympics?
Well, I would like to say to anybody who's maybe watching this tape or anything to challenge yourself to make that choice to volunteer with Special Olympics. It'll be very rewarding. I promise you, very rewarding. And you will love the athletes and they'll love you back.
Hi, my name is Dominic Smith. What I love about Special Olympics is the fact that they're not going to discourage you. Whether you do score the winning touchdown, whether you do score the final game in the final point in the basketball game, there's nobody out there that is going to tell you, you should have did this, you should have done that right. And we just had our games and I did do some bad, but I did do some good. And my coaches, I'm always apologizing for things that I did do wrong. And my coaches are like, you never did anything wrong. You got to loosen up. You got to just have fun. And that's all Special Olympics is really about. It's not about whether you win or lose. It's about whether you have fun or not.
I love it. They're always there to encourage you up, have a good time. All right. And then what sports do you play for Special Olympics?
So I've played basketball. This is, I think, like my third or fourth season. I've played soccer last year, and I played flag football. And I'm going back to flag football this year. So it'll be awesome.
Okay. Do you like either one of them more? Or?
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely a Bulldog in basketball. I'm always, you can't really challenge me, but I'm always going to try.
I got it. And then how long have you been involved with Special Olympics?
This is my third. Okay, so this is my third year. So yeah. Yeah.
What do you want others to know about Special Olympics?
Don't be afraid to even go up to somebody and ask whether or not you can do it. You know, I've been there. I've lived through that. I used to go to public school, and I tried out for basketball. I tried out for football, tackle football. I tried out for even baseball, and I never had the chance to play any of those sports because I was never athletic enough for them. Only sport that really wanted me was football, tackle football, because they need extra players in case one gets hurt. But you shouldn't. In Special Olympics, you don't have to show out. You just play your heart out until your heart can't play anymore.
I love it. And then, do you have a favorite memory or moment?
I've only been here I've not been here too long, but I think my favorite memories are when we do travel up to Myrtle Beach for whether that be soccer or football, because it's a lot more. Let's just put it that way. You train for those seasons, and then not too long down the road, you get to go to Myrtle Beach, and for people who are on like a fixed budget and low income, it's fun because Special Olympics pays for the stuff for you to come up there and play your heart out and have fun. They even have dances. So.
Okay. 10 o'clock. 100 more. What number? We're over 100. What were we? We're over 116. That's pretty good. Okay. Let's get another 100 in, Sandy. Yeah. All right, let's go. Poor Sandy.
This is technology era, not user era.
Oh.
All right.
Let's go. All right, come on. Not a good start. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. 22. 23. 24. 25. 26. 27. 28. 29. Yay. 30. 30. What? What am I on? 31. 32. 33. 34. 35. 36. 36. 37. 37. 38. 39. 40. 41. 42. 43. 44. Oh, off the side of my hand. 45. 46. 47. 48. 49. 50. 51. 51. 52. 53. 54. 55. 56. 57. 58. 59. 60. 61. 62. 63. 64. 65. 66. 67. 67. 68. 69. 70. 71. 71. 72. 73. 74. 75. 76. 77. 78. 79. 80. 81. 82. 83. 84. 85. 86. 87. 88. 89. 90. 91. 92. 93. 94. 95. 96. 97. Short. 98. 99. Oh. Okay. All right. Okay, we're going to get right to it because last week I was in Greensboro with the Greensboro Sports Council and I fireside chatted Dawn Staley. Here it is.
student athletes on our campus, like on our campus. So yeah, they're thriving in the NIL space. So
Tell us a little bit about your family, growing up in North Philly, and what that was like.
Youngest of 5, and when you are the youngest growing up in a household like mine in the projects of North Philly, you some skills that when I became a player. How about now?
How about now? Yeah, let me get this over here.
Okay. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. So I learned to be super competitive. If I wanted to eat, I learned to be quick off my feet, right? I learned that if I had the duties of washing dishes, I learned to be quick and running away from that, right? But as the youngest, you didn't really get very much. Like you got hand me downs. Like I had to wear my sister's clothes and sometimes my brother's clothes. I even have to share my birthday with my oldest brother. Like I got nothing to myself. But where I grew up, I credit for who I am today. It is my foundation. It is. I'm proud of where I grew up because of all the things that I've learned that has helped me just navigate through life and this sport, and to never give up, to always, have your thick skin. Like we got thick skin. You grow up in North Philly, you got thick skin. So you are unbothered by whatever is thrown your way, no matter how difficult defeat. We feel like we always got a chance at being successful. I literally learned all of that while growing up in my household and in my neighborhood, and I always scream to the top of my lungs that everywhere I go. Like I often have to tell the people in South Carolina that I work in South Carolina. I'm not from South Carolina. That's not a bad thing, but but Southern hospitality has grown on me so much so that I consider myself a Southerner now, and I really enjoy that part of me, and I think being at South Carolina has been a true blessing, a true blessing because I really didn't see myself coming back to the state that birthed my parents. My parents are from South Carolina. A lot of people don't know that, but that is the connection of why I chose to come to South Carolina and coach.
Sweet tea?
Sweet tea.
Okay.
Arnold Palmer. Arnold Palmer.
Yeah.
For sure.
So Dawn, Diamond Avenue and 25th Street. When you hear that, what resonates with you?
Home. It's home. 25th and Diamond is where it's called the Hank Gathers Center now. It was renamed after Hank Gathers. We grew up in the same housing projects, and they renamed the rec center that I grew up playing in, which was located at 25th and Diamond. It was really concrete floors, like you were playing on. I probably walk with a limp right now because I played so many games on that court, honed my skills, didn't get a chance to play on the big boy court, as I call it. Always had to play on the side baskets, and if a game was going on and they went down the other end, I would take this end and kind of get some shots up and just kind of quickly grab the ball and run out of bounds as they were coming back down the floor. And then finally I got a chance to play in the big boy game, as the only girl. So that was kind of an incredible feat for me because, you learn to grow and appreciate the different stages of playing at 25th and Diamond. And once I was a part of playing on the big boy court, you never look back. You never got reduced to playing on the side anymore.
Winners Day?
Winners Day.
Yeah. The other thing about 25th and Diamond that always resonates with me is a giant mural that Nike put up, a life size, like huge. How many stories was it?
8 stories.
8 stories tall.
Yep.
When you first saw that, what was your reaction, knowing how much your neighborhood meant to you and the challenges of growing up in the projects?
Well, during that time, because they unveiled that mural in 1996, I believe, and that was during the time in which our 1995-96 USA national team was traveling around the world, and we had the likes of Lisa Leslie, we had Cheryl Swoops, who had a shoe. I mean, we had all these what I consider big time household names, and Nike chose me as one of the. I mean, it had to be a handful of athletes that they chose. I think Bo Jackson and very few had murals, and I really to this day don't know why they chose me. Happy though that they did choose me, because what that mural meant to so many Philadelphians, so many young people. It was like a ray of hope of what they needed during that time. Like people identify with me for my stature because I'm not very tall, but also just the hope that I provide. I always talk about Philly. I always talk about young people in Philly who look up to me, who see my life as a light for them, and they may not be national champions, but they might go to college and be first generational college graduates. That to me is national championship like. That to me is creating a difference for generations to come. So that's what the mural represented.
And you mentioned the Hank Gathers Center. How about your after school program? Because that's exactly, I mean, what you're talking about.
I was very fortunate in that I had a really close relationship with Nike, and I wanted to do something at the Hank Gathers Center, like that was just long lasting, that was impactful, and I decided to do an after school program after speaking with them, and they did all the research. I wanted boys in it. I did. I wanted boys and girls together. Nike said that girls perform better in all girls environments. I mean, I wasn't really looking at the statistics, but I certainly was going to listen to them. So I decided to go with an all girls after school program housed at the Hank Gathers Center. And over the 10 years that we were in existence, I mean, we serviced over 500 girls who have graduated from college and just are making an impact in the world, all because we showed them something different. There was an athletic hour, there was a homework hour, and then there was an hour in which we would bring in other people who could just pour into them, and it was probably one of the most gratifying 10 years that we had impacting young people.
You mentioned different and difference, and you could have gone anywhere you wanted to play basketball in college, and you chose the University of Virginia. Why?
The dorms. Seriously, that was the differentiator. I only visited 2 schools. I told every school that I would visit them, but when it came down to it, I visited 2 schools. One of them was Penn State, and the other one was Virginia. And that's a small sample size, but they had been recruiting me. Both programs had recruited me since I was in the 8th grade. So loyalty was high on my just moral chart. And I went to Penn State first. It was actually my first plane ride. to go from Philly to, what is it, college? Yes, State College on a propeller with turbulence, right? We got off to a bad start, right? But I got there, and they show you around. They roll out the red carpet, and Penn State had, like, any Penn State alums in here? Y'all didn't have good dorms, okay? It was, you shared it, you know, you had a room, and you shared it with a roommate, and then you had to take your bucket, and whatever, I had a bucket. If I would have had a bucket, walk down the hall, shower, brush your teeth, all of that, right? Okay, if this is what it is, it's what it is. But then you have the comparison when you go to Virginia, and there, I had a suite in Virginia. You had a roommate, and there were like 3 other rooms within this suite. You had a common area, you had like 4 showers and 4 stalls, and I'm like, this is nothing like the projects. Like, I needed something different than the projects. So I was sold. Like, if all things were equal, and I know this as a college coach, I want to find out what's your non-negotiable, right? Where I live was a non-negotiable, and I chose Virginia.
I know how much teammates mean to you, and you have a lot of teammates. You've played on teams for decades. What are the most important qualities in teammates? I heard you say loyalty already, so I know that's important on your list. What else do you embody around what it makes a good teammate?
What makes a good teammate is when you are on one accord. Like, my Virginia teammates, our quest to win the national championship fell short, but we really, I walked away from college not winning the national championship, but knew that we gave it our all. Like, it was not in the cards for us. So destiny would not have it that we won a national championship. But when we did win in 2017, when we won our first national championship in 2017, I gave every single one of my teammates a mini replica national championship trophy with and I think I got this from Things Remembered. Like, it was a little it's a little placard on the back, and it said, "Because of you." Every single one of my teammates, Virginia teammates, every single one of my coaches, every single former player at South Carolina and Temple, and all the coaches and all the trainers and everybody that was on this basketball journey with me, that wanted to win a national championship but fell short. I made sure because they are a part of it. They are truly a part of me being a part of a national championship, because the thirst, the hard work that goes into it, the disappointing losses, and not achieving that during a time that we all wanted it. They all deserve to just join in that moment and be a part of something. To me, is truly special.
I know you gave your all with your teammates at Virginia, because Dawn is the answer to a trivia question. I'm sure Dawn's the answer to a lot of trivia questions, but this one is the only player in the history of the NCAA women's tournament to be named most outstanding player yet not win the title. So that's quite remarkable as well. Speaks to your teammate you are.
Well, up by 4 with 1:20, you think we should have won the game.
There's a bad call in there, right? There's a bad call in there
call
somewhere. I've heard this story a bunch of times.
There's a bad call in there.
You want to tell the bad call story? Because you want to tell it?
No. I'm going to say, I will say this. Winning 3 national championships can erase some of the pain that I've endured over the years, and but when you bring it up, it still brings it back. It still makes me feel like, and that was, I don't know, 30 years ago.
Yeah, it was a bad call, just so you know. You have to Google it or go to YouTube. You can find it. So we have a lot of ACC fans in here. Different school. Every school is probably represented here. What do you remember about playing in the ACC tournament? Because you didn't get a chance to play in Greensboro. You did play in Greensboro later as a coach at South Carolina. We can get to that. But what about playing in the ACC tournament?
ACC basketball was the best, the most competitive basketball. I mean, Virginia obviously is in the ACC, and I chose to go to Virginia because Virginia hadn't won a national championship. But I knew that if you had success in the ACC, it puts you in a position of competing for a national championship. And what I remember was nothing came easy. Like, nothing came easy. I mean, we experienced being the number one team in the country for probably my part of my second, third, and fourth years. We say that at Virginia. We don't say sophomore, juniors, and seniors, right? So I just remember just having knockout, dragouts, playing against some of the best competitors in our sport. And then I got a chance to play with some of my fellow ACC competitors, and Andrea Stinson and Rhonda Mapp and Sharon Manning. We all played for the Charlotte Sting in the WNBA a few years after we were finished college. And
all good NC State players, by the way.
Right. So yeah, I mean, it's I never knew I was going to be a coach. So to have played in the ACC, I mean, if I had to coach, I would be prepared of playing, with and against some incredible or just coach some incredibly gifted young people. Because of my time in the ACC, I knew that if I ever got to coach, I kind of knew how to navigate that space of coaching talent and actually competing against the same type of talent.
Let's talk about this coaching thing, because you just referenced it. You really didn't want to do it.
I didn't.
Why did you not want to do it, and what changed your mind?
I didn't want to coach because all of my friends that coached only talked about their team. And I'm like, y'all need to get a life. Like, there's more to it. And then I'm preparing for the 2000 Olympic team. The Final Four was in Philly in 2000, and I was preparing. I was part of the U.S. national team. We were going to play an exhibition game in Philly during the Final Four, and then Temple, they fired their head coach of their women's basketball program. I knew someone that worked in the athletics department. He would call me and ask me if I was interested in a Temple job. I'm like, no. And then he would call back again, and I'm like, no. And I'm like 29, 30 years old at this time. And he called one more time, and I was like, no, right? And then he said, we know you're going to be in Philly. Can you come in and meet the athletic director at Temple? And they knew my schedule. I'm from Philly. Like, I grew up playing on Temple's campus. So I just thought it was just my duty as a Philadelphian to go in and talk to this AD and let him down easy, right? So I go in and I sat down with him, and I just remember him asking me two questions. One of them was, can you lead? Right? So I'm like, I mean, I probably did what I'm doing right now, which is like, can I lead? Like, and then I didn't want my bubble talk to come out. Like, and I'm like, I said, I've been basically the captain on every team that I've been on. I think I can lead. Right? And then he said, can you turn Temple women's basketball program around? whoa, like I wasn't expecting that. I'm so drawn to challenges that I looked at that as a challenge. Like I'm looking at this man and I'm like, ooh, I wasn't really expecting this. And I really don't think I answered the question. But he was like, he broke the moment and he said, Can you come down the hall and meet some other people? And I'm like, sure. I'm here. Yeah, I had on jeans and maybe a hoodie, right? So I'll go down the hall. He opens the door. There's a conference table. He sits me at the head of the table, and there are like 10 to 12 other people sitting around this conference table, and they are firing off questions at me like where do you see yourself in 5 years? I said, playing in the WNBA, right? They were like, do you ever see yourself, being like the legendary John Chaney and coaching? And I'm like, no, right? Y'all, they were interviewing me for the job, and I did not know that. Like, all of my job interviews have been tryouts. Like, I've never been like on a regular like job interview, and I didn't even recognize it. I was just as frank as answering the questions because I didn't want to coach. Needless to say, 2 weeks later I took the job, right? And 25 years later, it's my 25th year coaching, and I'm really doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Like it is, I'm passionate about young people. I call myself a dream merchant for young people because basketball has been like so good to me, like unimaginable, uncommon, like good that I feel like I owe basketball. Like I'm forever indebted. So through coaching, I'm able to somehow pay some of that back through working with young people and helping them find their niche in life and helping them find if you want to be a pro, I'm probably a really good coach for you. If you don't, I'm probably not the best coach for you. It is not to say that I don't take my players' other interests. Like I do take all of that in consideration. I really do. Like I know everybody's not going to be a pro, not going to get the opportunity. But if you want to be a pro, I think I could call myself an expert in basketball because 25 years says you've been doing it for a long time, and young people really don't realize that they don't have new problems. All their problems are recycled. So it's just like you're just, oh, I identified that. I've been through that before. Here's how you handle that. And it's really cool to impact young people like on a daily basis. And I know it's a hard job. It really is a hard job. But when they get it, when they graduate, when you're there on draft night and they get drafted to go on a pro team, it's the most gratifying like ever. It almost brings this Philly girl to tears because you see how hard they work. You see their dreams coming true, and it's what you pour into them for, and then their parents who probably put me through a whole lot, right? Throughout the 4 years or however many years, they get it. They get it on that day. And I'm just thrilled to coach basketball and young people.
That 2000 year that you took the Temple job, you're working towards USA Basketball, another Olympic gold medal, and you're still playing in the WNBA. So how did you manage all of that?
Yep, I played and coached for I think about 6 years. You hire great staff. You do. Like you gotta hire people who are able to like supplement and complement the things that I don't do well. Like I hire people who are smarter than me. Seriously, I mean, it is. They're smarter than me. They're more experienced than I am, and there isn't like a job that's too big or too small for any one of us to do. Um, and then my players were really my players at Temple were really thrilled that they had a coach that was playing in the WNBA, and we utilized. I couldn't get out and recruit in July when I was coaching, um, so our recruiting ploy was to get them to come watch me play instead of me having to go watch them play, which I couldn't. So it was really a really a cool dynamic that Temple allowed me to continue to play. And I love basketball. Like I it's my passion. Like I've sacrificed so much, and it really doesn't seem like a sacrifice because I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And when you're living your true purpose, it you find time to do the things that you want to do within that.
25 years, right? That's amazing. It's really
really
well
is.
done. And 7 of the last 10 Final Fours, right? 5 in a row. So you've always won everywhere you've been. That's undeniable.
Not in
Oh, not in Vegas.
No.
Not always. What about in cards? I mean, because I know you don't
I
like
do
to
good
lose.
at cards now. I'm pretty good at cards.
You're pretty competitive.
Yeah.
That's your strength. Is that your
Yeah.
weakness?
It's probably it's my strength. It really is. The very thing that drives me is my competitiveness, and even it is about winning into it. It's the very thing. It's the process. It's the preparing. It is the outfoxing. It is the being able to live it in any given moment. That is the thrill that I get from.
So you're giving us a couple of qualities that you like as a leader. We're hearing this play through, and culture is something that I think at times can be a cliche. Everybody talks about wanting to have a culture and an identity, but you clearly have defined what your culture at South Carolina is. Tell us a little bit about the culture around your team and a little bit about your team as well.
I think what I don't really know what I do know that I do know that not every young person can handle that. Not every family can handle that. They can't, but if you condition them enough, if you prepare them for, like, I try to have Zoom calls in August, September, and October. That's the beginning of the season, right? And you have to prepare probably the freshman families of maybe their daughters won't play as much as they played in high school. It's a transition. They'll hear you in August. They'll probably hear you in September. They'll probably hear you in October. But come November and December, when actually the games are going on and they're experiencing their daughters playing very little or none, they didn't hear any of August, September, October. But you've conditioned them. Part of August, September, October is to condition them that this may happen. When it does, it it hurts some families, like, because they're so used to their daughters playing, and then you have to talk to them again and just say it is a process. Like, it's a process. All of our practices are open to parents if they want to come into town and see, because it's really not about their daughters. It's just about production. Production is nameless and faceless. It is what it is. The numbers speak for themselves, and it's hard to get them to that place. Like we've had. I'll give you a story. We've had like a really great young person that um that this is that I didn't play a whole lot. Well, she played in the first quarter and she didn't play very well. So I had to sit her for the rest of the game because it was a nip and tuck game. And the margin of error is small, like really small. So after the game, her mother texted me. Her baby was crying uncontrollably. And I let her baby cry. I did because I need them to hurt a little bit. Like, I do. I mean, it's not, I need them to be uncomfortable. I want them to fight for something. Like, I want them to do something, not feel that way or react that way. So she texted me and I was like, actually, your baby did play. She didn't play well, but this is all a part of learning her process and all of this, right? You know how she responded? She gave me this. The text message, the thumbs down. So I'm looking at it, I'm like 10, 9, 8, 7. I had to go down. I had to go count down before I responded. So I told her, I said, well, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna be respectful. Like, I can understand that you're upset, and I understand that, from your side of it, you see what you see and it's real to you, but I see it from this side of it. And we went back and forth for a while, and then at the end of it, she's like, Coach, I trust you. And that is conditioning them to really understand that it's a process, that sometimes it rocks the family, but in the end, if you stick with it, there'll be far less of those, than if you, and far more of, us going to Final Fours and winning national championships. But it's a process. So we understand that. So it's just that I'm really inclusive. Like, if a parent wants to be involved, come on. Because I find that young people talk to their parents a lot, like every day. Every day. You know how many times I spoke to my parents maybe twice a month, and that's to ask for money, right? Now it's every day. Like, it's every single day. So if you're going to be talking to your parents every day, I need my messaging. I got to talk to the parents so the parents are able to fuel what we need her child to do. So I'm inclusive. I'm inclusive to boyfriends, girlfriends. I'm inclusive to trainers. I'm inclusive to, if you got, one of our players hung out with these 3 guys that thought they really knew basketball, right? Right? Like, they did. So bring them in. Let's all sit down. Let's talk. Because we need the synergy going in the right direction. We'll need you having an opinion about how you do things. Like, if we're all in the room, probably only one of us has won. At that level, at this level. So, I mean, it is clear communication. If you don't want them involved in it, then I could care less about their opinion. If you want them involved, I want to know your opinion. I want to know, because bottom line is our players, they're the principal, right? We need the principal happy. We need the principal in a good place where she can learn. And just 2 things that I'm worried about is just academics and basketball. Everything else I could care less. Not care less, but I'll take it off your plate so you can concentrate in those 2 areas. And And if it takes a village to get them to those places, that place of peace where there are no distractions in those two areas, then that's my job to do. We mommed and popped like our fan base, like mommed and popped it. Like we would open our offices up after hours, have them come through, show them around, just get to know them on a personal level. And by us doing that, by us opening our practices up, like we have open practices for them, specifically for them. And then we started winning, not at a clip that we're winning now, but enough to engage them, enough for them to buy. They would buy, it was very, very affordable. They would buy 10 season tickets and give 8 of them out to other people. And it just snowballed into everybody started to feel like the synergy of our program, and then the energy that they put in the building. And now ticket prices are going up and up and up and up and up. And it's very cool because I did not see being, 11 straight like attendance record in Columbia, South Carolina. Like there are so many traditionally rich programs, the Tennessees and the Connecticut's. All these programs have been rich in success for so many years, but yet, it's probably a little known fact that we have the attendance record for the past 11 years. And it just really is uncommon. It's uncommon favor when it comes to, what we've been able to do.
I remember one concession stand open, no
Yes.
line in the restroom, and no traffic jam outside. And now you got to get there early, tailgate, have fun. You got
Pay
a
for
special price.
parking. Like,
Yeah, it's awesome.
You can't tell me women's basketball isn't a revenue producing sport. You cannot tell me that at all.
Okay, so there's 2 other things I want to speak with you about, and you just mentioned both of them. The growth of women's basketball, your role in helping expand women's sports. You're involved in a lot of things that, you're in commercials with Coach K for my goodness. You're going into the FIBA Hall of Fame with Coach K. You have a tie to Coach K forever now because of your work in the corporate space. What would you say about the single most important thing that you've experienced lately in the growth of our game? Because you were a part of the 18 million people watching a 24 million spike on the national championship game last year.
I think I just think that the public display of wanting, like the demands of wanting to see women's basketball play on national television, and that's not. I don't think that's the decision makers' first choice. I do think it's what the public wants, and the public has been the driving force of lifting up our sport. And then because we have that, I do think it's making more sense to put resources into women's basketball and all women's sports. I'm just going to speak on women's basketball because I'm in it. I think we're just hitting our stride. Like, I do think there's no holding back because we're in demand. We are wanted, across the country. And because of that, you see the decision makers of our game pouring in the resources. Like some of our players are some of the most popular student athletes on our campus. So they're thriving in the NIL space. So women are brand ambassadors. Like, we're seeing, I'm seeing not just our team, but identifiable women's basketball players in commercials, and we're busting at the seams. So I just hope that we will continue. You know, with the first time the units, we just saw I think the SEC got $3.4 million just from the units. Most people don't know that in men's basketball, their units, it's about $2 million per team. Like every men's basketball program gets $2 million, whether they're in the tournament or not, whether they're in, and it's nothing against our men's tournament, our men's team, but they didn't go to the tournament, but they reaped the benefits of March Madness and NCAA men's tournament. So that's why we're not revenue producing. They look at us, but we have to get those numbers up to a respectable place where when there are decisions being made with rev share that is better broken down than the 75 for football, the 15 for men's basketball, the 5 for women's basketball, and the 5 for whatever, however they want to maneuver in it. For us, it's only 5 because, or less, because those numbers go to the revenue producing sports. Am I bashing football? No. Football pays for a lot of things on our campus. Am I bashing men's basketball? No, I'm not. What I'm bringing to light is we've been held down for so long that they only look at the revenue that's being brought in. And if you haven't poured into us like you poured into the other sports, we're never going to be able to increase that number.
There's a lot of people that came before us that have worked really hard to help make this landscape change, and now we're seeing the product of it happening thanks to folks like yourself who are out front trying to fight for equality all the time, Dawn. Yes. So I really said 2 things. There's really 3.
All right.
Uncommon Favor, May 20th.
Yep.
Right? Dawn has written a book. She's added author to her resume. All right, so tell us about why, the timing of it now, and what's it about? Why should we buy it?
Well, I would say this. One, I'm getting old, so I don't want to forget. I want to forget all the journey of my life. But I've had so many life lessons throughout my life, and I have 13 lessons in the book that have been impactful to my life, and I think it would resonate with probably everyone. It's like normal stuff, like everyday stuff that people go through, and I hope that the book allows you to be okay with what you're doing and knowing that your path is your path. But if my story and the things that are the lessons that are in the book can help you just kind of pivot a little bit, I hope it allows you to pivot to get to where you need to go. And I just think that, you know, when we lost to Iowa in 2023, and we were I got to give the whole story because I don't think everybody knows the whole story. That one still doesn't sit well with me, but I got to tell you a story because we were the number 1 overall seed in 2023, undefeated going into the tournament. We started out the first and second round playing on Friday, Sunday, right? And then the Sweet 16 Elite 8, we got moved from Friday, Sunday to Saturday, Monday. And the manual didn't say that. The manual said Friday, Sunday, right? So
the manual you're talking about, the manual
manual.
Yeah, that's like this big.
Yes. So, you know, I pitched a fit a little bit because it just seemed abnormal. Like, we're talking to our director of basketball ops, and she's like, they moved us. They changed. So I called the conference office, and, you know, It is what it is, right? So we play Monday night while Iowa, I don't know who Iowa played, and LSU, they both were lower seeds than us and Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech and I and South Carolina were the only number one seeds left in the tournament, and we're playing on Saturday, Monday. So that means, and the Final Four is played on that next Friday. So while we're playing on Monday, Iowa and LSU they're resting. And we're the number one overall seed. So we really go into the tournament, you know, I think playing at a disadvantage. Whatever, right? So we lose, and I was upset only because we had a really great freshman class that stayed and played together, and they just were the right mix of young people who did it the right way. Like they truly embody what student athletes are. They never complained. They never, like 4 years, they never complained. They came and they got, so we lose, right? I did fight. I never thought, I did fight to get the number one overall seed, always playing on Friday, Sunday. So I did threaten that I was gonna write an open letter and put it out publicly. But then they were like, oh, wait. So they ended up changing that rule, which is if you're the number one overall seed, you will always play on Friday, Sunday, which is good. The reason why I say that is because South Carolina, although we've had success, we aren't the Connecticut's, because they never, if Connecticut's the number one overall seed, they're going to play Friday, Sunday, no matter what. Okay, we on the other hand we got pushed to Saturday, Monday. Anyway, we ended up losing. We lose seven of our top players after that season, all five starters, and then we come back, and last year we went undefeated, right? And I didn't quite understand, I'm a faithful person, like I don't throw my religion on other people, but I do understand where my blessings come from. I have a pretty good understanding of that. And for us to lose who we had, to go through this last season undefeated and win a national championship, I really explained it as God giving us uncommon favor. Because I was hurt after that season, really hurt. It still stings a little bit. But when I have to explain what took place the following season, it was very, very uncommon of us losing who we lost and us going undefeated and winning. And I just thought that someone approached me again about just writing a book and getting it all down. And I just thought this was the perfect time to do it, to really have an understanding of where my life is and to share. Like I really want to share my story because I do think it connects with everyone. You don't have to be, a sports person to really understand what these life lessons are and to get something out of it. And I think, it's getting great reviews. It's getting great reviews. I'm learning a lot more about books and what it takes to write a good book, what the qualities are, what the experts in the book field, what they want, what they're looking for. And I do think, it is a great book. I did the audio for it. I don't know if y'all want to listen to this voice, but I did do the audio for it, and it's been a really cool process.
I think everyone in here is going to help you make it a New York Times bestseller.
Please, thank you.
Yeah.
What I'm doing is far less than what these families and these young people are going through on a daily basis. So I just want to, wear them for people ask me all the time. And I just want to bring light to what young people and their families are going through who are, cancer patients or sickle cell patients. I think it's just pretty cool to to bring them along with me in my journey.
Wearing that is uncommon favor, Dawn, and thank you so much for spending this time, giving us a small glimpse behind the curtain of what makes you tick. It's been absolutely outstanding. It's been a lot of fun for me, and I've enjoyed being here with you and with everyone here tonight. Dawn Staley.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you all.
$11 p.m. We're still not even halfway there, are we? Is this halfway? This will be halfway. Okay. You ready, Sandy? All right, let's go.
Now's not the time to start tweeting. Call it X now.
Is it coming down? Let's see if that works. One. Two. Three. Four. That's off. Five. Six. Seven. Eight. Nine. 10. 11. 12. No, it's off. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. That's off. 18. 19. 20. 21. 22. 23. 24. 25. 26. 26. 27. 28. 29. 30. 31. 32. 33. 34. 35. 36. 37. 38. 39. 40. 41. 42. 43. 44. 45. 46. 47. 48. 49. 50. 51. 52. 53. 54. 55. 55. 56. 57. 58. 59. 60. 61. 62. 63. 63. 64. 65. 66. 67. 68. 69. 69. 70. 71. 72. 73. 74. 75. 75. 76. 77. 78. 79. 79. 80. 81. 82. 83. 84. 85. Oh, damn it. 85. 86. 87. 88. 89. 90. 91. 92. 93. 94. 95. 96. 97. 98. 99. 'Kay. All right. Halfway. Okay, halfway there. So the Mount Pleasant noise ordinance is 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. So we will not be able to turn the dish on for the remainder of the night, but we will still utilize it. Just means somebody has to rebound and pass all night. Sanchez is a really good passer. Sandy's a good passer. Frank is a good passer. And Patrick is a really good passer. Okay, so we're going to go to my friend, one of the most famous Special Olympic athletes in the world. An incredible story, Loretta Claiborne. Here she is.
Well, I am so pleased to have with us Loretta Claiborne, who is this absolutely awesome woman with an incredible story. I could go through, Loretta, and list all of your accomplishments, but that would take up all our time, because it is like
Tell
5
me.
pages of info about awards and representation and the way you've been such an incredible ambassador to create so much awareness and make a difference for so many people and families like ours. So I'm so grateful for your time.
Well, thank you. And also, I'm thankful for you to be able to stand up there and work with a basketball for 24 hours. I would have no nails. I break them every Saturday playing 3-on-3 basketball. All my nails break.
I know you play a lot of sports. Which one's your favorite?
You know, running is cheap. All you need is a decent pair of shoes and put one foot in front of the other, a little bit faster than walking. And it's very beneficial because you can think, you can do a lot with running.
I'm so amazed at how fit you are. You know, I don't know about you, but I'm getting AARP mail. You know, that's what people that are supposed to be retired get mail. I'm not
I've been
ready
getting
to
that
retire.
since I was like 21. Honest to God, I got something from AARP at the age of 21.
Well, tell everybody a little bit about your story, because we've had you on the live stream before and you are back by popular demand. You are such a great role model for so many and such an inspiration.
Well, my story starts out like many other people's story. Everyone has a story, no matter who you are, whether it's a good story or a bad story. But my story started out pretty bleak. I was born blind with intellectual disability. But also, I live here today, very independent. I was always denied of my opportunity to play sport, not only as a female, of course. I've been running since 1966. There was no Title IX for women to have the rights to playing sport. But here I am today, not only fighting for Title IX, but the only reason I really had the opportunity to do something that I love, which is sport, was through Special Olympics. I was a very violent type child growing up. I didn't talk much, and no, I didn't use sign language. It was just that people didn't accept me because I didn't learn as fast or as quick as they did. And that was society then. And most people like me were put in institutions, but my mother fought for me. Her dream was for me to graduate from high school. That was her number one dream. And to get that elusive diploma, which her dream was realized, and she did live to see it, but she's gone now. And I've done things outside of sport that are very important to me, and that's giving back. I knit knockers for women with cancer. I still enjoy all my sports. I'm going to go to Berlin to play tennis. And it was a sport my mom always dreamed of, but because of the color of her skin, she couldn't play tennis. And I remember her one night saying to me, "You see all those sports you're doing? You better thank the good Lord for those opportunities." Because I did not have those opportunities. And I didn't think I would ever have the opportunities that I had through sport. But it's not only that I had these opportunities, I also became a 4th-degree black belt in karate. I ran the Boston Marathon. I ran pretty well, just over 3 hours. And that was at a time when people were saying, "Oh, that's not good for people like you." And they said the same thing about my martial arts. They said my behavior was too bad to take martial arts and I would hurt somebody. I never hurted nobody. I protected somebody before I would hurt somebody. And I became a 4th-degree black belt. So I broke that myth. And running the Boston Marathon, somebody says, "Oh, you don't know what that is? That's so long, da 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 da." And here I ran 26 marathons. And it goes to show that people, just because you have a different ability, it shows you, it gives you the strength to want to do more. Whenever somebody told me I couldn't do something, I just think to myself, don't tell me what I can't do, show me what I can do. I'm going to show you what I can do. And I'd never forget Eunice Kennedy Shriver, who created Special Olympics. One day I was in Washington going to a meeting, and she looked at me and she says, "Well, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm going to catch this bus." And she was asking me some questions about staying and helping with her son with an event. And I was like, as soon as I could get it out of my mouth, she said, "Don't tell me what you can't do. You show me what you can do." And that's what people like me every day are doing today. Just showing society what we can do. Yes, we can get out. We can work. we can have the opportunity to be self-sufficient. We can drive. We put it in front of us. Not all of us are going to be able to do all of our hopes and dreams, but a lot of us can if with the right supports.
Loretta, I'm listening to you, and I'm just taken aback by your resolve, how strong you are, not just physically, but mentally. Where does that come from?
I would have to say, and I know this is not a religious subject, but number one, God. Number two, a strong mother. Number three, people in my life. And if I lay my head down, I always thank the good Lord for the people he's given me to show me the path through this life. More than the material things that I have. And I guess it's just having a good support system. It's not like I have somebody that lives here with me. I live totally independent, but I know if I need help with something, like last night, I had to get a new iPad because my old one was dying. And a gentleman sat there on the phone. I'm taking this little cell phone, showing them this iPad like this, and I live in this tiny square box of a house. He says, now move it left, push this button, what's this number? And I was almost in tears. I was getting frustrated because I couldn't do it. But here's this gentleman who had so much empathy to sit down. He could have said, hey, look, I'm watching my baseball game. No, he gave me that time. And that's what I try to do. People say people with ID only are on the receiving end. They're going to just receive services all their life from the state or from wherever they live, that they can't get back. And that's not true. Because I sit here and I'm knitting, started a preemie hat last night. This happened to be just sitting here. And that's going to go for some little premature baby in some hospital. And I've done a couple thousand just during COVID. And I've been doing this since 2014. And I also knit the knockers for women who have cancer. It's a little insert that goes inside their bra to fill that area where they had lost a breast. And I give it all away. I give it back because that's my way of showing that we can give back. And if you don't have to do a material thing, if it's just sitting and helping somebody or talking to somebody or listening to somebody, it's amazing the ways one can give back. It's called empathy. Have feelings for others in your own way.
You are... I could listen to you all day because every fiber of my being is activated by your love and your generosity and your commitment to helping serve others. And there's so many ways we could go with this conversation. I want to ask you about Eunice Kennedy Shriver because you mentioned her. I wish that I had the opportunity to meet her. She's one of my mentors and role models. When I think about what she did for families like ours, I just wish that I had a chance to meet her. What was she like?
Well, my mom used to always say to me, Loretta was way ahead of her time. And I would say that Eunice was way ahead of her time because she was a person that wanted to see better for people with ID. She was a person who wanted to see that everyone has a chance, that nobody stands on the other side of the fence. I remember her saying to me one time, Loretta, I made this program for people like you to be on this side of the fence, to be able to play sport. Now, my school was denying me. The students, not the school, but the students were denying me. And I was the first one, I was the one who went up to the principal and teachers and said, can we have a girls track team? That was before Title IX. And here's this woman, before people were accepted with ID, most people like me were in institutions. I was one of those who was spared because of my mother and her strong will. And here's this woman coming and saying, oh, we want to have a program for people who have different abilities, such as her sister. I don't think her sister ever did much with Special Olympics. But here's a woman who didn't do it just for her sister. She did it for society to show the world that these people do deserve a chance. And she used sport as a vehicle. So I said she was way ahead of her time.
That's why she's my role model, because I'm trying to emulate exactly what she did in my own little way. by shooting free throws in the driveway to create awareness and to
Yes.
raise money and to make new friends like you and to get new people that come in, tune in to listen to your story and want to help make a difference for people living with ID. When you mentioned Title IX, Loretta, that's amazing. We're celebrating 50 years, right? This is the 50th
51 years this
anniversary.
year.
Yeah. What do you think about that? Like, what are your thoughts there?
My thoughts is huge there because when I helped start the track team at William Penn Senior High School, it was me that went to those girls and said, hey, I think we can have a track team. And then I went to Mr. Eckenroe, who was our principal at the time. I said, can we have a track team? He says, well, that's not a girls thing and the boys have rights to the medal field, or we used to call it the medal field, but it's small field. And you girls can just practice in the hall. So we practice in the hall. And then we got a lady, a Russian teacher. I never forget her, Mrs. Kasiba. And we start just running up and down the hall as long as we had the teacher. And one day she took us down to the track. And my cousin happened to be the fastest guy on the guys team. And these guys start calling me names, call me retards and stuff. And my cousin put the end to that. He said, yo, we're going to stop this right now. They didn't know that I was Pierre's cousin. And Pierre was, everybody followed him. All the guys, it's always the leader. One that takes the initiative first to do something, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. He says, we're going to have a run around the track. I'm tired of you guys messing with her. That's all I see you guys do. So he said, we're going to have a mile run. So the couple of the guys stood there and we started off and I got around one lap. Yeah, they were past me, but then I caught them on the second lap. And by the third lap, they were all done and I was still running. And then he yelled at me, yo, Loretta, hey, cuz, you can stop running now. And he brought those guys and I never had no problem now, those guys. Getting back to Title IX, it was the same thing. You are always denied because you're a girl. I don't know if you remember this. When we were in school, we were not allowed to play full court basketball.
Yeah, no, I don't remember that because I always got to play, Loretta.
We were not allowed to play full court basketball because they said that's not good for women and it would hurt your reproductive system.
Yes, I remember all that conversation back then.
Oh, I'm like, why can't we go run all the way up the whole way? No, you're only supposed to play half court. That's not good for your reproductive system. I didn't know what that was, and I didn't care. I wanted to play. But through it all, when I got out of school that next year, they were allowed to have sports, and they had a track team. And one of the kids I babysat ran on the track team.
You are amazing. I mean, how many times have you been able to share that story about your cousin Pierre and racing the boys and winning? I mean, just beating the boys, right? I mean, I bet that's a big part of your story.
All natural running. And people used to laugh at me. There was no Forrest Gump movie, so you couldn't go run, Forrest, run. That was way before that. And that's when girls didn't run. And my rule of thumb, my mom says, if I kept you running outside this project, you're going to have a backside you ain't going to be able to sit. So I would run around the whole Parkway projects. And I would just run by myself.
Your mom didn't want you running outside the
I never had no problems.
Why did your mom not want you running outside the projects, Loretta?
She didn't want me running at all at the beginning because it wasn't proper for a girl to run. But I had another sister, I had three other sisters coming up. But my sister, who was a year older than me, I had a sister a year younger and another sister. Well, you know, the girls get to be 12 and 13. They were looking at the guys. So she just left me run around the projects because she knew where I was. So she didn't have to keep her eyes open for 4 girls starting to mature. She knew where one was.
When you think about all of your history of people with intellectual and physical disability and those that say you can't, you won't, you're not allowed, you're not included, and you've been through the civil rights movement, the Title IX movement.
That's all that we lived during the riots.
You've lived through so much history in our country. Where does your inspiration come from? Because you're an inspiration to me, but I want to know what inspires you.
Well, I would have to say number one, God inspires me and good people I met along the way. Not at the end. I'm not at the end, and I hope not to be at the end anytime soon. But the people that I met along the way. The man who lived behind me, an Uncle Herb, who taught me how to count and says, hey, you might won't be the best reader, but I want you to know, I want you to learn how to count your money because somebody else will count it for you. And he was right. He says, you don't have to be the best reader, but you should understand what you're reading. And I never understood what he meant. He made me sit down and read the newspaper, and he would read his Bible. And then it would go on to Miss Peggy, who taught me how to knit. People just along the way. Mrs. Reaver, who said it's okay to be you. When I was in her class, her special education class. I mean, I can mention people, Janet McFarland, Becky Hollis. I could just mention so many people, Nora Mason, Linda Meyer. There's just the people I met along the way was a great blessing for me, because if I didn't meet those people along that way, I would be either two places, 6 foot under, because I would have got angry and fought somebody, and somebody would probably kill me, or in some institution, which is like a hell on earth, as my mother would say.
Mhm. When you look at Tim Shriver and the job he's doing for Special Olympics, knowing that he is a direct extension from his mom, Eunice.
That's tough. That's a tough situation there.
Right? I mean, he's doing a heck of a job. I mean,
Yes,
he
he
has
is.
created so many opportunities. I know you've got a good relationship with him. What would you say about the job that he's doing and about your relationship with Tim?
You know, I don't think I could do the job that he's doing. If I had to do that job, it would be pretty tough. I was just talking to somebody the other day, and I said, you know, I couldn't be president of the United States. That's a job I wouldn't want. I wouldn't want to be a teacher because of what they were going through. And I can imagine what Tim is going through, because people are looking at him in two ways. Either they don't know him, or here in this country, they think, oh, that's another Kennedy, trying to find the spotlight. And he's nothing of the above. He's a person that cares about people who are differently able. And yes, he wants to honor his mom, and he wants to keep the legacy going. But it's not for Tim. It's for the benefit of the people that this program serves. So he is not an I-me person. If you met him, I seen him when he get really mad. I didn't think the man could say one swear word, but don't get him mad. He's just like us. He gets mad. He gets angry. He doesn't throw a fist. But I tell you what, he'll will you in. So I seen him at his tough times, and he's a very, very, very devout man.
That's the kind of leader we need.
I'm pretty sure if we had more people like Tim, this country and this world will be a much, much better place.
Loretta,
not only does he does it for people with ID, he's doing it to mesh the regular people to come together. And during this pandemic, he hit it right on the head. He hit it right on the head. It's your emotional well-being that you have to keep. Not only for people with ID, but for regular people too. And that's when he started to unite, to try to bring people together. If you remember the program Unite?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. When people watch this live stream and they are going to see me shooting free throws, and then they're going to listen to your conversation with me, and they're going to be triggered by a lot of different emotions, because you hit on everything. Do you think that we hit on enough emotion to get people to give? Because what we're asking them to do is to make a donation to Special Olympics. What would you say to those that are listening or watching that maybe could do a little bit more to help somebody that is in need?
Well,
And
Bob
especially
Marley
through
always
Special
said,
Olympics.
Bob Marley always says, live for yourself, you'll live again. But if you live for yourself, live for yourself. I forgot how it goes. But he goes basically, if you live for yourself, you'll live in vain. Yeah, live for yourself, you'll live in vain. Live for others, you'll live again. In the kingdom of God, man shall reign. Pass it on. So people have it. I know people have money. I know people have resources. So if they could just pass on a little bit, it's not how much you have, it's what you have and how you use it. So if they just use a little bit of what they have to give, we'll be in much better shape.
And the bell is ringing in the background, and that is perfect timing, Loretta, because I don't know how you can't listen to your conversation. Your incredible intelligence and your heart combined together for Special Olympics is unique, and no one has the combination that you have, which is just absolutely remarkable. I'm so grateful for your time.
Well, thank you. Sorry for this lady. She won't shut up.
You're all right. Listen, you're a busy lady. We're so glad to get you. You're not easy to schedule. You got a lot on your plate, but you are definitely worth tracking down and finding and searching. And I'm so glad that I can call you a friend, because I feel like after the last couple of years, we've shared some conversation and we have a similar heart.
Well, I'd just like to say thank you. And I hope that those who are out there viewing and watching and will watch you for 24 hours shooting free throws will take a little bit from their heart and give.
One of our favorite Special Olympic athletes joins us once again for 24 hours, nothing but net. Our buddy Jim Chalmers. Jim, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again.
Jim, you have such an incredible story. I really am so grateful that you want to share it with us again. So tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I've been in Special Olympics as a coach for 37 years. I've been in Special Olympics pretty much all my life. And and I want to spend more time getting out the word to families and the mothers, because a lot of times they're at home and the fathers working or vice versa. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times they say, what can we do for our son or daughter? What kind of help? And they may hear about Special Olympics, or like, I don't know much about it. And that's where we come in and say, here's what Special Olympics can do for you. There's no age limit. There's no age starter. There's a bunch of activities. If someone gets bored with activities or sports, they've athlete leadership programs where you can go out and be a volunteer, a coach, or a speaker, or be involved with a law enforcement torch run, raise funds. And I was talking to two moms last night about the idea of how can Red Wing be more stronger and get the word out about Special Olympics, and talking with ideas. And earlier, a few months ago, I was gonna run another marathon, but then that wouldn't give me the opportunity to get the word out.
How many marathons have you run already for Special Olympics?
That's probably the most frequent question I get. 04, 08, no, 04, 06, 08, 09. 2010, I was involved with the law enforcement torch on Final Leg. We started at Ames, Iowa, and ended up in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Wow.
And there's like 9 athletes, 9 different groups. And at the end of that week, one of my good buddies, John, said we ran over the equivalent over 2 marathons.
Wow. So that counts as 2 in my book. I got you at 6.
Yeah. And then 2012 and 2014, and I did a personal one for my dad in 2020 because he died, not of COVID, but it is such an inspirational story there. And I mean, there's plenty of things to do in Special Olympics that no other organization can do, because you got Red Cross, you got Knights of Columbus, and those organizations, all respect for them, but Special Olympics is year-round fun and stronger and better, and I believe wholeheartedly Special Olympics is a solid foundation for any business, any community, any family to get involved in.
Jim, you said 37 years that you've been working with Special Olympics. How old are you now?
53.
Okay, so when you were a little boy and you were going through elementary school and middle school, was Special Olympics available to you?
Well, yes.
Did you play?
I played a little in grade school and middle school, because I was on floor hockey team, and I got help to read and write with one of my special ed teachers. And in high school, I did not know or didn't have the knowledge about Special Olympics through high school. If I did, I would have been in it.
What's your favorite sport?
Well, the coach or the partake?
Well, both.
Okay.
What's your favorite to play and what's your favorite to coach?
Well, track is for running, but I think bowling is, it depends on the season, but I think bowling is my top for coaching.
Okay. So how many athletes are you coaching right now?
Well, we're in a swimming season, and we just got a new schedule. And I'd say maybe total we have about 20, 22, something like that.
Okay. Do you work in Special Olympics every day? Do you have practice and training every day?
No, we just got the new schedule, so it used to be every Monday night for swimming, and we were gonna have track and field, but we didn't have enough coaches and volunteers to do that.
So one of the things that I always talk about with Special Olympics is not just raising the money, but getting involved. You just said there's not enough volunteers for the athletes to be able to compete. We need help with some volunteers, don't we?
Yeah, and we're doing the Special Olympics. We used to have down the skiing, cross country skiing, figure skating, along with bowling and swimming and track.
but over the years we've lost that connection to the high school.
We got to get that back, because we should tell all of our listeners that you live in Minnesota. So that's why skiing, snow skiing, is one of the Olympic sports. We live in South Carolina. We don't have that sport in South Carolina.
Oh. I got a brother in South Carolina.
You do? Where?
In Greenville, they live.
Okay. Yeah, well, we're in Charleston on the other side of the state.
Wow.
What's your
So,
favorite thing? What's your favorite things to do when you're not working? Because I know you have a job.
well, trying to get out and exercise more. And I really need to get out and jog more because I'm gearing up for the torch run from Rochester to Hastings in June.
How far is that?
I'm not sure.
That
But
from Rochester, Minnesota to Hastings, Minnesota?
yep. And I'm just going back to my torch run final leg memory. And it could be like we start off in one place and we talk, then we get into a van or something, and we go to another spot, and we do a cadence, like jog like 2 or 3 miles, then we speak, have a
Nice.
little get together, then we repeat the process.
Jim, what do you like about the torch run?
When I was doing it in 2010, it's a new experience for me, and back then I was in 2008. I joined it when we ran the Twin Cities Marathon, but it's nice and easy. It's fun. It's so powerful because I should say this more often, but when Eunice Kennedy Shriver died, I felt that her spirit, her fire, her passion, her life went into the torch that we now carry.
That's amazing. What a great symbol.
Because she was out there leading the charge for us.
Eunice Kennedy Shriver is one of my role models.
Yeah. And now we are leading the charge for her.
That is so well said. I never thought of it like that, but when the Mount Pleasant police run the torch into my yard and we light the cauldron for 24 hours, I will be thinking about that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Because over the years, you hear interviews, you hear her speak, and you can see so much passion with her, and that passion about her sister really helped her come stronger, and it makes us stronger every day.
That is such a good thought. It's a really good attitude in thinking about the torch like that. I love that idea.
In Special Olympics, people say, "Oh, it's not for me. It's not for my brother, my sister, my mom, my dad, or anything like that. Or what do I get out of it?" Well, you get out of it so much more than you will ever get out of anything in life, because it fills you up with so much strength and energy. and love that it is a year-round lifestyle.
I love the way you're thinking about that. That makes me really happy because that's a really good thought. When I start to get tired and I'm in the driveway and I'm thinking how hard I've trained and how much more I've got to go, I'm going to be thinking about what you said, Jim. I'm going to be thinking about looking at that torch that's lit in my driveway, the cauldron, and thinking about Eunice Kennedy Shriver's spirit. I think that's a great idea.
Because I've told my athletes, especially in football, that fire inside of us that grows and grows and grows. That is how Eunice was and still is.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever meet her?
No.
Me neither.
No.
Have you met her brother, or her son, Tim?
Yeah, one time I did.
I haven't met him, but I've talked to him before. He's a really nice guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's a good leader.
Yep.
Well, Jim, we are so grateful that once again you joined us to talk about Special Olympics. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It means a lot to me that you want to be back on with us because you are helping lots of families and lots of Special Olympic athletes understand why it's important to have this opportunity to play.
Yep. And thank you. And it's not just play, it's about life.
What do you mean by that?
Special Olympics is not just about sports, it's about life journey, about education, motivation, inspiration.
I don't think anybody could say it any better than you. That is a wonderful way to look at it. Thank you, Jim, for spending some time with us.
Thank you so much.
Unified PE has been a game changer for our school. It has really helped to change the hearts, minds, brought kindness to our students that really enjoy working with exceptional student athletes.
I love that I just get to spend every single day with the athletes and have so much fun, and that we get to modify our sports, and it's always just so much fun to spend time with them because they're so nice.
We got some great kids that come in here and they care about each other. When I go down to their classrooms and they come out, hey, is my partner here today? I'm excited for them. I want to go show them something.
That excitement and enthusiasm around Unified has really kind of grabbed those kids and brought them in.
The kids bought in, and to me it was important that the kids buy in, because it doesn't matter if I want you to do it, but when your peers want to do it and they're talking about Unified, talking about Polar Plunge, talking about going to the State House rally, the students really drive it.
Every year we came in with a new group that comes in and they keep raising the bar.
What's great is Unified PE